Hello, all, and welcome to the Emerald Collective channel. I'm Ben, but I am not your GM for tonight. That honor goes to George of Three Sales Studio, who is somewhere relative to me, I'm not sure, who will be taking us through another session of their fantastic new system, Gallows Corner, which is still live on Kickstarter and entering its final week. We are at, I believe, 69,000, which is
Just
very
about
nice
to hit
number.
69,000, yeah.
Just about to hit, yeah,
Nice.
which is the number you
Yeah.
want to be at, but we'd like to go higher. So pledge while you still can. Though before we get to Emerald Collective housekeeping, just before we get all to that stuff, we'll get to the exciting stuff. I'm just going to hand over to George for a moment, just so he can tell you what Gallows Corner is about in his own words.
Yeah, so Gallows Corner. I'll hold that back up again because why not? It's that beautiful. Gallows Corner is a Peasants Revolt RPG. You play as peasants and the working class in the post-plague England of 1376, 5 years before the actual historical English Peasants Revolt. And your job is to change England by any means necessary. And you can get it on Kickstarter right now.
Yeah, so go for it. Thank you, George. As for things in the EC world, over on our Patreon, which you can find by clicking the link in chat, we're offering original monsters, magic items, and maps to use in your games each month. You can also get early access to our podcasts, shout outs on stream, and bonus content, as well as discounts on select items at drive2rpg.com and on commissions from our cartographer, It's a Map, and from Lee Shangavi, who created all our awesome Patreon art. However, if you don't have any coin to spare, but you'd still like to show your support, fear not, because we have a free tier which you can join. And when you do, you'll get a free original monster and magic item for your trouble, plus even more free content on occasion. So make sure you do stick around and keep your eyes on the updates. We cannot wait to share all the gems of the Emerald Collection with you. Gems like No Silver Linings, a Call of Cthulhu podcast by Mark Corrigan of Chinook Games, featuring 15 episodes of chilling horror set in Silvermines, County Tipperary in 1919, and available to listen to on several podcast platforms. You can also catch The Violet Madness, returning to the Emerald Collective in podcast form. You know Alf, he's back in Pog form. Episode 0 recaps the story so far and sets the scene for the adventurer's quest to rid the land of Gastonia of the magical disease known only as the Violet Madness. Episode 31 is available on all platforms now, with episode 32 having dropped over early on our Patreon. If you want to stay up to date on everything Emerald Collective, the best way to do that is to come on by our Discord server. There's even opportunities to get involved in some of our games, both off stream and on. Just fill out our player application form and then keep an eye on the Looking for Game channel. It has been a lot of fun to game with members of the community. Speaking of that community, we want to give a big shout out tonight to our patron, Gunslinger. Thank you so much for your support. We really do appreciate it. But now, without any further ado, I'm going to hand you back to George as we re-enter the revolutionary world of Gallows Corner.
All right, everyone. So for those people watching who didn't see our stream, 3.5 weeks ago now, just over 3 weeks ago, I have taken this group of rowdy, stinky peasants through Sherwood Forest and through the town of Mansfield, and they eventually met the Greenwood Outlaws after they came across a river of refugees who had been fleeing the town of Mansfield, which had been set ablaze. And our intrepid revolutionaries, not really knowing their arse from their elbow most of the time, managed to rescue Guy of the Greenwood himself, the head of the Greenwood Outlaws, and cut him down from the gallows, if I remember correctly, while Tim, our assassin, whispered a cryptic message into the ear of who seems to be his erstwhile brother in the form of Guy of the Greenwood, which I loved. That was a nice use of our opportunity system there to change the world around you in a nice, subtle way. And you had the opportunity to cut Guy's throat, if I remember, Dave, and you chose not to take it.
Yeah, I think we had one of the rope was sabotaged, but he had a real rope with him that he was talking about maybe substituting back in so he would hang, but chose not to.
Well, I loved it, and you managed to escape. You managed to escape the gallows under a hail of arrow fire from your allies on the edge of the forest, and you managed to get Guy of the Greenwood back to safety. And we are going to pick up. Our story from that point. So where are we? Where's my... Okay, so this is the second act of our 3-act pre-written adventure called The Gold of Greenwood. And yeah, so this is going to be the second act that we're playing through tonight. 2 weeks have passed since you arrived in Sherwood, and this is the first time you've seen Nottingham up close. The Gallows have become a centre of activity. News from the city brought into the woods told you that the sheriff has a festival planned, where the 50 tax refusers and those outlaws that his half-brother managed to capture will meet their end. The weight of the world seems to rest on Laura's shoulders as she walks with you over the bridge, the River Trent moving softly beneath, flowing past the meadows and through the gates. She's not as famous as Guy, it seems, a brown hood enough to conceal her features from the sentries. And you? Who would ever have heard of you before, let alone know you to see you? Guy hasn't been able to walk into the city like this in years, she whispers. I don't think he would now, even if he could. Something's finally snapped. His fight's gone. She steers you left down a street, if you can even call it that, lined with structures pretending to be houses. Hovels, shacks, and mud, children playing with rubbish as their parents look on. I was born here, Laura says, as one or two of the braver locals give her the slightest of nods and smiles. Right here in Narrow Marsh, the youngest of 10, my poor mother, God rest her. The slums of Narrow Marsh stretch and wind before you, tracking the city walls, the flow of the river audible from beyond. Guy was too, you know, right there at the top of the street. Born away from power but surrounded by it. He couldn't stand it and neither could I, so we left. Went out to make our fortunes. And what did we find? Narrow Marsh wherever we looked. This county, this country, it's rotten right to its core. A few hundred yards further and the houses start looking more like they're supposed to. And a few hundred further, the place actually starts looking like the city hasn't forgotten about it. Ahead, the road splits into 3. Before you, the castle rises up, sat on a flat stone plateau with sheer sides and rocky cliffs, a clean and cobbled road winding its way through merchants' houses, whitewashed and clean. Left, a worn road leads down, snaking along the cliff edge. At its end, a large and proud tavern painted yellow stands glowing in the morning sun. The Pilgrim, Laura says, noticing you looking. Many a good night was had in there. Even when things are bad, there's something good happening, and the tunnels it hides are useful as well. She steers you right, and you walk parallel to the castle wall. The press of traffic increases the further you walk, people coming and going, hawking their wares, looking for work, or just shouting greetings to friends and insults at rivals. It seems odd, life carrying on here as usual while families hide in the forest, scraping together anything they can to survive. As Laura said, good continues even when the bad gets worse. She comes to a stop on the edge of the largest cobbled square you've ever seen. Great marketplace, she declares. We know a lot of the traders here. They keep us supplied and informed as best they can, but the sheriff's spies are everywhere. Things need to change. They can't go on like this. It's time to strike the final blow. Will you help us? So that is a quick whistle-stop tour of the city of Nottingham. And what we are doing here in this session, so the Gallows Corner, the way Gallows Corner as a game is structured is you have scenes. Overall, these take place in seasons, and you have scenes, and you went through a number of scenes in the previous session, and then you also have the point crawl. Now, the point crawl is normally how you move around a county and around the country. But what I like to do with our adventures is I like to have mini versions of the point crawls in these adventures. So essentially what we're doing today is we're going to do a point crawl of Nottingham. So Nottingham is broken down into 5 locations. You have Narrow Marsh, you have the Great Marketplace, you have the Pilgrim Pub and Caverns, you have the Meadows, and you have the Castle. Each of these places has a verb associated with them. Now, you will remember last time that one of the things I said, one of the things we do to keep Gallows Corner moving and to keep things going is I ask you what you want to do in a given time and place. You tell me what you want to do, and I boil that down to a verb. Each of these 5 places has a verb associated with it, and that's going to kind of shape the story that's being told when we get there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I will tell you and I will write them down at the same time because I should have done that. Narrow Marsh, which is a slum area, has the verb recruit associated with it. Great Marketplace has the word disrupt associated with it. The Pilgrim Pub has the word break in associated with the verb break in associated with it. The Meadows has what does the Meadows have? The Meadows has plan associated with it, and the castle, as you might expect, has sabotage associated with it.
Yes.
So you also will remember from last time that at the end of the session, because you all did so well at rescuing Guy of the Greenwood, I granted you 10 influence, which means you go from unknown to spoken of, I believe it is the next one up. So there are some people who are aware of you as people fighting the good fight, and your reputation will somewhat precede you. You can kind of trade on the fact that you are now somewhat known among the people who would be looking to bring the fight to the sheriff. And so when you will meet NPCs during this point crawl, and when you decide you would like to take one of these NPCs on as a retainer, you let me know, and we will roll them up as a retainer, and then they will travel with you, and you can use their dice and their skills alongside your own to solve problems. Everyone happy with that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Perfect. All right. So we're going to start, I think. We're going to start with Laura, you walking Laura back to the gates of the city. And as Laura looks to you, she says, the Sheriff's Festival takes place in 5 days' time. Those poor tax refusers, those that we couldn't rescue from the woods, they're going to hang. And there's 1 or 2 of us in the dungeons as well. The sheriff is going to, she's looking around and she's keeping her voice low because the guards are about and they're kind of inspecting people coming in rather than looking at people going out of the city. So she keeps her voice low as you're approaching the gate with her. And she says, the sheriff is doing this to bait us out. He still wants Guy and he still wants the rest of us, but he will hang every one of those 50 if he thinks he can even get a chance of getting hold of us. Anything we can do, we need to do. And she said, our plan with your help is to raise the city up in rebellion. And she says, and she winks at you and she says 5 days should probably be enough to get that done. And she kind of has like a wry smile on her face as she says that. So she says, we'll be back in 5 days' time. Whatever you can do. Oh, Buddy, the 3 Sales Beagle's coming to join me. Hello, Bud.
Yes, that's
there he is down there.
Yes.
He's going
to leader of the revolution.
We're all about
he's actually in. He's in Gallows Corner twice.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Come on. Yeah. So you got 5 days basically to round up rouse as much of the city up as you can. So I'm gonna set a clock going, and this clock is gonna have 10 segments. Mm-hmm. And basically we're gonna do night and day or day and night for each of those segments. And I will do this like close to real time. Basically, every time you travel between one of these areas, I'm going to tick the clock, and the world is going to change around you. So, like, spending time in a place is important, but it's not just going to be. If you just stayed in one place the whole time, it's not going to pause the clock. It's going to tick with real time, but also tick as you take actions. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah. Can we get the verbs again, just to throw into our chat?
Absolutely, here? Yeah. Sorry. So Narrow Marsh is recruit. Great Marketplace is disrupt. The Pilgrim Pub and Caverns is break in.
The Meadows. Sorry, I'm writing this in now so our players can see. Disrupt. So I've got Narrow Marsh, Great Marketplace. What's the next one?
The Pilgrim Pub and Caverns.
Pilgrim Pub. What's that? That's break in, is it?
That's break in, yeah.
Yeah.
The Meadows is plan.
Yeah.
And then the castle
is sabotage. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And it's worth mentioning that sometimes these things, well, they're all linked together. So what happens in one will affect the others.
Yeah.
Deadly. Thank you.
So, from the gates, the most accessible place in Nottingham is Narrow Marsh, and that is where you are likely to find the most kind of ready support, because this is the slum area. This is where the poorest of the poor and those who are just a little bit less poor than that live.
And it seems a safe bet since we've just been through with Laura.
We've sort of and people have seen you with her.
Yeah, and we know we could probably trust more people there. Maybe a few people that we saw give her the nod, and so yeah, we can gather a bit of support and get our footing, get our grounding.
Exactly. I will say when you get to each of these places, each one of these places has 4 NPCs you can meet and potentially recruit. So don't. When someone strikes you as someone you want, go for it, but remember that there are others there as well. Okay, so entering Narrow Marsh, you turn left from the gates, and this is a place that Nottingham's affluent would rather forget. They don't want it gone, of course. Where would they go when seeking out their depravities? But no, they'd rather you just don't talk about it. For those that call it home, the Narrows are both heaven and hell, sanctuary and scourge, protection and punishment. They look after their own and refuse to bend the knee to those who demand it. Now, the first thing you see in Narrow Marsh is a huge, huge ditch. Now, you are in the shadows of the city walls. So, like, the Narrows are bounded to the south by the city wall, separating the neighborhood from the meadows and the river on the other side. And behind a row of squat shacks runs what everyone local just calls the ditch. And it's a stinking open sewer and dump that serves all of Nottingham. And it's pretty early in the morning. It's probably about 8 o'clock in the morning. It's the height of summer, so the sun is up. It's getting warm. The ditch is really starting to get its daily stench going on. And there are scrappers and dung farmers and rat catchers who are working the ditch, looking for anything that can be used or sold or eaten. And grave diggers. Laura, as you walked past it originally, Laura would have said that there are grave diggers who are employed to keep. There's like a single culvert that runs through the wall so water can flow out freely. And you can see a bunch of people who would normally be grave diggers, kind of shovels over their shoulders, picking their way through the ditch to try and clear out this culvert to make sure the water flows. While we're here, I think it's a good point for you guys to reintroduce your characters. So as you're kind of walking along this ditch, Ben, we'll start with you. What is what's Gareth keeping his eye out for as he walks along the side of the ditch?
Well, I think as always, probably the thing, his most immediate concern is, is somebody gonna come out from the corner of his eye and try and, hit him over the head with something and drag him off to the jail. No, but he's looking here, and as he sort of eyes over the crowd, thinking maybe that maybe something like one of these sort of rat catchers or tunnelers might serve us well in the caverns and trying to get into the castle. Oftentimes, rat catchers might be employed. But as he's thinking this, he's walking on, looking slightly more impressive maybe than when we first met him last episode. Gareth, whose trade is the body and his job was a servant. He was a footman or a sort of a household guard. Didn't see much action until last session. He's on the run, and he's now sporting chainmail and a longsword, which he has stolen. Well, actually, he wouldn't have the longsword displayed.
Yeah, that would be hidden under a cloak, right? Because that's a definite, if a guard sees you with that, that's an arrestable offense.
I should say not sporting, possessing a longsword.
Yeah.
And I imagine, I don't think he's probably, I doubt he's wearing his chainmail unless, he maybe could wear something over it. Unless he can conceal the chainmail, he's not going to be wearing his chainmail.
Yeah, I think the chainmail will be stashed somewhere safe for now, given the fact that this is like early on in the journey. I think this would be safe. T, tell us what Kez is thinking as she walks down the marsh. Is this kind of scene, this kind of slum scene, familiar, or is this a kind of newer experience for our blacksmith?
I'd say Kez would be used to a mixture of all the scenes, kind of. They went where the money was, where the requests were. So seeing this, they actually have a very they look quite angry because they know that it's people are being exploited, and especially looking at the grave diggers, like trying to keep that particular space clear. They've definitely made a note of that. And as they're going through, they just want to they're keeping an eye on, okay, what could be improved here? What tools do people need to get through life a bit better? What could they possibly do? So essentially, they're just thinking, how can I help? And how can I do it in a way that, kind of gives the finger to the powers that be.
Got ya. Okay. Dave, I imagine that Tim, our assassin, our bagman, is maybe a bit more used to these insalubrious kind of quarters. What's he keeping an eye out for as he wanders along the ditch in Narrow Marsh?
This is a great place to hide a body. So
I mean, you can definitely see the remains of some bodies in that ditch.
Yeah. So he's thinking, looking for a not too busy, might be able to take on a little bit of a side quest here and make some money. Because I mean, he is an assassin after all. But he's also he's keeping an ear out for any. He's interested. So I'm interested in the verb sabotage, and I think he would be too. So he's just listening out for any sort of gossip with the castle's staff that might be stuck for money or stuff like that. So he's interested in making his way into the castle.
Got you. Okay. And then Rep, what about Clement, our scrapper? I mean, this is definitely his turf, right? He sees like this is like a gold mine for a scrapper, right? A smelly gold mine, but a gold mine nonetheless.
I was actually thinking he's probably appraised it and gone, it's actually quite sparse considering what this town
it's been picked over.
My take on this is he's walking past and gone, there's so many now crammed into this space that the moment a bagman delivers his load, that's gone, and that's the only source now of anything of value in this. Was my take on this, that he's now gone, there's so many and he's been in ditches across the country. This is this wood is his stock in trade. It's like, no, this is gone. We're past the point now of this being a useful way to maintain. This is now people just scrapping over mud and sticks.
Okay, got you. Can someone roll me, please, a D10?
Give it to Clement since we're on his turf.
All right, you sure? That is a 3.
A 3. Okay. Okay, so as you are walking along the ditch, you see ahead of you coming, so they're coming kind of to east from the west, along the ditch in your direction. You see a group of soldiers, maybe 3 or 4 of them. One of them looks like a sergeant, and the other 3 look like recruits. Maybe if you looked closely enough, they might look, and I think it was Ben, I think it was Gareth who did this last time. It might look on closer inspection that one of those recruits might be one of the ones you ordered away from the gallows at the end of our last session. So as they're walking along, they're getting closer and closer. What's Gareth doing? Thinking that he recognizes one of these young soldiers. What's Gareth going to do in this moment?
Well, he's going to turn his back to them, and he won't put his hood up because just in case he could look more suspicious. He's turned his back to them, and assuming we're all fairly close, he just says, I think that one's seen my face before. He says,
sorry, we don't let him see you. They attend. They walk past us.
They just, he will. He's got to do something. He draws too much attention to himself. He is just gonna.
What could possibly go wrong? If he finds
he'll have his back. He'll have his back to them and all of you, and he'll just say, he'll just start sort of telling the story, and he changes his voice a bit, and he says, and I told and I told
So
him.
he's trying to disguise himself, essentially, right?
Yeah, he just basically, he just starts saying, I told him, he said, that I polished off the last of his ear. And I said, no, you didn't. And, so he gets to a scrap and, and we tossed him out on his ear, that show him come round again. He just starts sort of telling like a story, like,
okay,
because he needs to be doing something, because otherwise it'd be like, if he starts picking around, they'll be like, should you be here picking around stuff? But also, what are you doing just here standing by the ditch?
So as these soldiers get closer, as Gareth is telling his story to his assembled friends, you start to hear kind of off to your left in the ditch, you start to hear a bit of a commotion brewing. And as you steal a glance over, you see that these grave diggers / tunnel diggers who are trying to clear the culvert have come under fire from a group of what can only be described as beggars pretending at being kings, who are sat on top of the biggest pile of rubbish and the fanciest pile of rubbish in the ditch. And there's a lot of kind of like bits of old food and like rags balled up and stones and bits of old shit are being thrown at these grave diggers, who are like beating a hasty retreat out of the ditch. And as you look over, you see a man, and this man is probably in his 40s or 50s, but he looks older, and he is wearing like, how would I describe this? It's like, imagine if a child made a crown out of rubbish and then it broke a couple of times, and it would then been fixed as many times as possible with whatever was to spare. This man is wearing that crown, and there are people, probably about 5 or 6 people around him, slightly lower on this big pile, who are laughing and throwing stuff at these grave diggers. And as the soldiers come close, just as they're about to look over and kind of what this soldier is about to get Gareth, like catch Gareth in his eye line, one of these like projectiles, as the grave diggers go running by you, one of these projectiles kind of lands at the feet of the soldiers. And you hear the sergeant turn around and shout, "Oi, Challen, I fucking warned you before. Don't throw stuff out of the ditch." And the people in the ditch find this fucking hilarious. They've gotten a rise out of 2 groups of people, and they think this is absolutely hilarious. And one of the, I suppose you could describe these people surrounding the man in the rubbish crown, you could describe them as his court almost. One of them shouts back at the sergeant. He's like, "How dare you speak to the king of the ditch that way? You learn some manners." And they all start throwing stuff. And you're being kind of caught in this rubbish, this hail of rubbish a little bit, as the soldiers beat a hasty retreat. And these blokes in the ditch are rolling on the, well, I was about to say rolling on the floor, but they're kind of falling back in the rubbish, laughing their heads off.
That's a good way to get the plague.
Do you want plague?
Plague?
This is how we get plague.
Are these people you want to interact with, or how are you reacting to this hail of rubbish coming at you?
100%. Yeah.
They'd have information, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's whoa, we seek an audience with King Challen.
So they fight you hear them laughing and guffawing, and they all start kind of like bowing and scraping as this man stands up. And he's pretty tall, right? Like he's kind of thin, and he's kind of a bit old and a bit wasted away, but he stands up, and he's still a pretty, those people that have like an aura of authority about them, but like it's an earned authority rather than like people like this man despite themselves, I think is the way. And he stands up and he says, "Welcome to my kingdom. This is a place a
brave man to throw shit at the sheriff's men."
Well, he said, "The sheriff's men are nothing but shit themselves." He said, "They come down here to my domain and think they can give the orders down here. They have another thing coming. We know how to get rid of those fuckers." And he walks down off of his like mound of rubbish, and he walks towards you, and the smell coming off this bloke is intense. And he comes up, and he goes up to Gareth, who's been the only one so far to engage him in conversation, and grabs Gareth. He grabs both your right hand with both of his hands and starts shaking them. And as he pulls his hand away, there's like a film left on your hands. And he's like, I haven't seen your type around here before. What brings you down to the ditch?
Shit slinging. Shit stirring. Shit stirring.
Well, he said, well, me and my boys, we're your men for that.
Says,
You haven't got any food on you, have you? By the way, the pickings down there aren't so fresh.
Said, no, unfortunately not. We were thinking of maybe going swinging by the Pilgrim later. He says, but he said, your liege. He said, my traveling companions. Cares, and he'll in turn everyone to introduce themselves. Cares.
Greetings.
No.
I'm not going to call you my liege.
So like Challen laughs and kind of slaps you on the shoulder, and then like he knows he's dirty, right? Like he knows it, and he slaps you on the shoulder, and then just kind of rubs his hand down your sleeve.
Oh, dude.
This is this is Lord Timothy.
Hello, my name's Tim. Anyone disappeared? Oh, I'm happy to help that.
This is and Clement. If you need the remains of somebody disappeared, picked up, he's your man.
Help that out for you. You seem to have made yourself a good spot here, my liege. The way the river all comes down this way, pick up the last few dregs in this place. I think you've got that all sorted there.
Oh, he said, well, this is when they throw you out of polite society, the only way to survive is to stop being polite, right? But you've got some manners, and I like that. And he says, he kind of like looks around, and he's kind of like gauging the opinion, and you get the sense that maybe he's a little bit drunk because it's only 8 o'clock in the morning after all. He's like, did my old eyes deceive me, or did I see you with old Lucky Laura earlier on?
But you always still work
You
there.
may have.
Good lass, that one. I knew her dad very well. And he kind of goes quiet and he looks around for the soldiers.
He says, as I said, we're here on the business of shit stirring.
Wow, I can see that. And so he looks around and he gives a little whistle, and the ditch court kind of take up position at the ends of the streets just to make sure that like they can warn Challen if any of the soldiers start coming back. But at the moment it seems clear, and so he's confident that no one's overhearing him. He's like, well, might so be that I can help you out when it comes to that. Look, Laura, she's like a niece to me, she is. And if she's in trouble, then old Challen's here to help.
Good. Oh,
well, yeah, it's
wonderful.
Yeah, some of the others that are in trouble, who need to get out of trouble.
So 5 days or so, you might be a little gathering happening. We might require a little bit of additional support.
Oh, those poor wretches in the dungeon. That's who you're talking about.
They're the ones, yeah.
Well, I've been there enough times down in that dark. I'll take my ditch any day of the week. So he looks around and he's like, he's looking around and he's like, well, it might so happen that old Challen and these boys can help you out, but it's going to cost you.
What? Fair wages for fair work.
That's it. And he said he looks at you, Gareth, and he takes your hand again, and he's like, this here is a gentleman and a scholar right here. It's nice to see that people value the work that we can do. So he said, so he kind of like, he's entering into a period of negotiations here, and he's like, it might so happen that I can do what you need me to do, but you probably. And he smells himself, and he's like, might so happen as well that if you're walking around the city with old Challen, that might attract the wrong kind of attention. But what I can do is point you to some very fine folk right here in the marshes who can offer you a kind of more immediate support. But if you give me some time and you bring me some silvers to pay for some drinks, I can talk to some people I know around the marsh, and maybe we can create some kind of distraction for you when it all comes down to it.
How about we also bring you some food as well?
So he looks back at the ditch, and he's like, well, if you ain't picky, there's a lot of good stuff that gets thrown out in there. but yeah, some fresh food would be nice. It'd be nice to eat like a king as well as call myself a king as well. But yeah, that'd be nice. And so he puts his arm around Kez, and he kind of like pulls Kez in a little bit. And he's like, I'm going to give you a little tour of the marsh.
How's his breath?
I don't know. T, how is his breath? You tell us how Chalan's breath is.
Chalan's breath is the breath that I think most people get when they've had a full day of drinking, not enough water, have eaten the greasiest chipper just before falling asleep, and slept with their mouth open. So it is, and rubbed in.
To me on Sunday, Sunday morning.
Describe it as right.
That stuff in the corner of their mouth, like that.
Yeah.
Like it's eye-watering.
Corners.
Right, like you can smell that his gut biome is off, so off.
Okay.
And
So-
Kez is just trying to be polite, like,
He's a walking Yakko head.
but they're like, do not hit his arm with the hammer. Don't hit his arm with the hammer to get it off you, please.
All right, T, roll me a D10, please.
7.
A 7. Okay, so Chalan starts to walk you around Narrow Marsh, and it doesn't look very big, right? From the ditches, it doesn't look like it's very big, but actually, as he's walking you around, you realize that there's more to this slum than meets the eye. And he talks as he kind of leads you slightly off the ditch. And Nottingham is like up a hill, basically. It's the whole city is moving up from the river up to the castle on this kind of like cliff plateau thing. So you are basically at the lowest point in the city. So almost all of this is going uphill, but there's one bit that's particularly steep. And as he's walking around, he's talking to all of you, but he's kind of like got Kez in this, like, your family, you are kind of grip. And he's like, so up here is Slaughterhouse Lane. This is where the butchers and the skinners and the furmen, and there's a barber surgeon down the end as well. See that red and white pole? He's good for taking a tooth out. He'll even take a leg off if you ask him nicely. He's a bit of an artist, and he's a good cook as well. But don't ask him where he gets his meat from. And so that you see Slaughterhouse Lane, and there's just as you're walking away, the heavens open, and this what was a blue sky suddenly becomes this like sheets of torrential rain. And luckily for you, this is kind of cleaning Chalan up a bit. There's like the water that's running off him is kind of brown and murky, but it's freshening him up a little bit. And the down Slaughterhouse Lane, it's just the water runs red down here. Wow. On each side, you see butchers hawking their cuts and slaughterhouses with their knives. It's a busy place, and there's cattle in a stock pen down the end. And Chalan keeps you walking. He takes you off Slaughterhouse Lane, and you open up into a flatter bit of the marshes. And he's like, "This here is the ring." And you can see this is like it's even at this time in the morning, you've got people like you've got these kind of muscly men and these kind of like lithe athletic women are there. They're kind of cracking their knuckles and stuff like that. There's people there getting ready for the day's fights. There's very few things that will make you famous here in Narrow Marsh, but boxing is definitely one of them. And there's an inn. There's an inn next to the ring called the Downtrodden that you can see as well. And there's people there getting ready this is a place for hard people. And there's a bookmaker who's getting ready to start taking bets on the first fight of the day. And then he carries on walking. He's like, this place, this is the shining light in Narrow Marsh. This is Poor Hospital. And what you see is to call this building a hospital would be generous. But it is the cleanest looking building in Narrow Marsh, and it looks like everyone is treating it with as much respect as possible. And there's a couple of you get the sense that they're not nuns anymore, but they're dressed like they used to be nuns, or they dress like they've been trained by nuns and stuff like that. And there's this is a plate, and Chalan's like, they started this about Aubrey, her name is. She started it about 10 years ago, and she looks after the kids and she helps the mothers out. And when one of my boys gets hurt or gets sick, this is where we come for nice bit of warm soup and He says clean. He kind of goes, in a clean bed. It's better than now.
None.
And he's like, so these are the people that you can. These are my people. These are my subjects. And he kind of laughs as he says it. And if you're looking for people to help, then these are people who are good at helping, healing, hurting, and fighting. Whatever you might want, someone's here to be found. And he's like, but you go and do that, and then you see about my silver and my food, and I'll see what I can do to help out later on in the week.
Okay.
Sounds like our people too.
Sounds like a deal. And Kez is going to kind of gingerly detach themselves from Talon's arm, but actually put their arm out, like their hand out properly. And
for a handshake.
For a handshake.
Okay, so he shakes Kez's hand. He gives you a nice firm handshake, and then he tips your hand up and just gives it a little kiss, and then gives you a bow. And this is a great honor for the king of the ditch to be bowing to someone else. This is a great honor that's being given to Kez here. And we're going to give Kez an opportunity for treating Talon with the due respect, I think.
Kez is going to... It's not exactly a curtsy, but it's a mixture of both.
Okay.
So Kez is going to step back and a very flourished movements of obviously seeing all the lords and ladies over the years, and gonna dip their head and be like, I'll be back with updates and better food for you and your boys. You're gonna need all the strength you can get.
So he thanks you, and he turns to walk off, and you see kind of melt out of the side alleys and the side streets. The rest of his court kind of gathers around him as they walk back down the hill to the ditch. So we are here in Narrow Marsh, and you've now got a sense of who is available here for you. You're going to get an opportunity to recruit one of these sets of one of these from one of these four places. Now, Chalon is broadly speaking on side, but that's something that would come in later on in the week. But you've got the Ring, you've got Slaughterhouse Lane, and you've got Poor Hospital as well.
Is there an opportunity to talk to the guys who were sort of considered like the Gravediggers tunnelers? Would it be possible to inquire as to whether they might be aware of any tunnels into the castle?
Well, I would remind you that Chalon at both... Well, don't think it was Chalon, but Laura said to you earlier on that the Pilgrim Pub and Caverns are useful. Had tunnels. Okay, cool. So that would be, And Gravediggers digging under a castle in a city, probably not going to happen, especially considering this one's built on a cliff. So it's going to be solid rock to get through.
Cool.
George, do we have maybe something? Do we have any kind of silver on us to our name?
Not really. You
or
might
like
have
coppers
one.
Or any.
You might, you've got some currency, right? A little bit of currency.
Well, I'm wondering, do we try and
get some silvers?
An easy bet at the Ring, and don't do any crazy, 1,000,000-to-1 odds, but just try and drum up a bit more cash for ourselves that we can maybe, just in the interim,
Kez is so game for that. So down.
So we're gonna head back to the Ring then, and we're gonna have a look at the Ring, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think just to try and get a bit more money, we might get lucky
for sure. Okay, that's totally fine. So as you approach the Ring, the rain has stopped. It's one of those like freak summer showers, the ones where it's just like ridiculously intense rain for 10 minutes and then it's clear blue skies again. And so like the ground underfoot, this is not cobbled, this is not paved, this is like it's compacted mud that's now a bit churned up and stuff. And as you get back to the Ring and the inn called the Downtrodden, you see that there in the Ring there is she's tall, she's big, she's tall, she looks like she could mess you up given not even half the chance. It looks like she could mess you up, and she's a little bit like she's kind of carrying herself like she's had a good kicking the day or two before, like she's a bit sore in the bones. And she's got kind of like the remnants of a black eye, and it looks like her nose has been broken more than once or twice. But she's like, it's clear that she she's important round here. And she's in the ring. And the ring, it's a glorified like cattle enclosure, right? It's just 4 fences pulled together. And it's right next to the downtrodden inn. And there is a bookmaker. And you can tell he's a bookmaker, weirdly, because he has a book with him, a little black notebook. And he stood up on as you go closer, it looks like he stood on 1 box, but as you get right up close, he's actually stood on 3 boxes. He's a short little fella, kind of wispy little beard, balding head, and he's got like he's got like a gold ring in one of his ears. And he's missing a few teeth, and you can hear him as you approach. He starts to clear his throat, and he's like, "All right, everyone, time for the day's first fight. Who's going to take on our bare knuckle champion here? Who's going to take on old Jenny Dobbs?" And you see this, you turn to this tall woman in the ring and she cracks her knuckles out. She's stretching herself and limbering up. And as he looks around at you guys, he's like, "Oh, new faces. I've not seen you around here before. Anyone, any fighters among you? Anyone fancy taking on old Jenny Dobbs?"
Gareth looks at Kez. Gareth's not too bad with the sword, but swinging that hammer, I think Kez is better with the... He said,
I will add,
Kez,
it's like, definitively not that kind of fight. This is boxing, not fighting,
so
not weapon fighting.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like and I say, Kez like,
"Oh, he got you." Yeah.
You know, it's like, do we? He said, like, we might get more money. I mean, even if you lose, we might get a few coppers.
Kez is going to just kind of look over at Tim to see how he. Kez would trust Tim and his ability to like size up people. And Kez is just gonna kind of look at Tim and like nudge him with the elbow. What you think?
Like, as in, would he know like how much of a killer this one looks like her combat ability?
Sorry, I was muted. Can you say it again?
No, Kez is going to kind of look at Tim, judging because they trust Tim's ability to like size up opponents. They're going to nudge him and kind of lean over and be like, "What do you think? What are my chances?"
Well, I think if you lost some money to this beautiful lady, that Tim might get a little bit of a night out with her. He could introduce me because she looks like my kind of woman. But apart from that, getting back on target. I think I would like to size her up. Can I look? You said that she looks like she's sort of maybe favoring a leg, or she's she's sore from another fight. Could I?
Yeah, she's sore from another fight. Yeah.
Suss out if there's a broken floating rib there or something that might give Kezia the advantage here.
Okay, so Tim is being tested on his ability to size up Jenny Dobbs. So build your dice pool.
Okay, so I am testing. All tests include experience dice. Can you run us through this again? Because it's been a while.
I can absolutely.
And it's good for people who are just watching and learning this system.
So in Gallows Corner, you have 3 traits: physical, intellectual, and emotional. They each have a dice associated with them. These are your EXP or experience dice. Every test involves at least one of those, but you can combine them if you think that's relevant. You then, once you've chosen your EXP dice, you then see if your trade is relevant. So in Tim's case, that is the hood. Yeah. And remember, your trade is your general way of understanding the world. Those from the hood see the world as a series of opportunities to be seized and exploited. So in this case, I would actually think, given the fact that you're sizing up to see if this is worth a bet, that you could probably bring the trade in there.
Okay. And if they've got a broken rib that can be
that's it. So I'm gonna can I go for physical, because I mean, Tim being the bagman, he has had to fold up some bodies in half to fit them into more conveniently disposable receptacles.
I think in this case, so for the benefit of people at home, we'll walk through this one. So I think this is definitely going to be an intellectual dice, because you're trying to solve a puzzle, right? I think in Tim's case, I could definitely justify physical, because it's his job is the act of physically engaging with people. I think you can bring, in Tim's case, or in this case specifically, the hood is relevant because you are looking for an opportunity that can be exploited. And then as well, if and only if your trade dice is included, can you then advocate to bring your job dice in? Now, in Tim's case, as an assassin, you need to know how best to take down a target, and that's about finding where they are the weakest and most vulnerable.
Yes.
So in this case, I think you can absolutely bring your job in as well. So you're rolling 4 of 5 dice this time.
So I'm rolling
a really
3
good
d6
result.
and a d8.
And you were looking for a result of 5 or more on any of those dice.
Okay, I have a 5 and a d6, I've got a 5 and a d8, a 3 and a 1. So that's 2 successes.
So you only need the 1 5. So that's totally
cool.
Fine. So Tim can see that definitely one of this woman Jenny's ribs has been broken in the past, and it would be a vulnerable one on her right hand side. She's, I reckon you can probably tell she's got a bit of a twisted ankle as well. She's a little bit ginger on her kind of left ankle. Maybe she's kind of fallen on it or been pushed or something like that. But the main thing that you can tell is this woman knows her shit. She knows that she's not at her best.
Okay.
And she's going to compensate for that.
Okay, I'm gonna pass it on to Cass, and he's gonna say, well, at the very start, lock eyes were stomp the ankle. And then when she reacts, get in there with the fucking ribs. And then you're on your own.
Thanks.
That's all I got. And look, at the end of it, put in a good word for old Tim, will you?
If I have teeth, I will do my best.
So he says, look, if you get battered, if you get battered and we don't make any money by way of apology, I'll flog the chainmail that I got off that sheriff's.
I was literally going to suggest that first, but I was kind of thinking, like, would that be real sus? Like people like us selling, like, it's like fucking
Castle Forge steel.
Yeah, I mean, sus as fuck.
It's like putting a
Challen's
fucking,
gonna know who we can.
Like putting a Rembrandt up on eBay. Do you know what I mean? We're just like, where the fuck did you get that?
Look, Challen will know
collection only from my house.
He'll get enough money for it.
Yeah.
So just above the table, is Kez about to accept this challenge to go in and fight Jenny?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So just as Kez is about to step forward and be like, you know what, I'll take it on, this big tank of a fucking man nudges, but like I said, nudges is the wrong word because nudge would suggest he was being relatively gentle. Boulders past Kez and knocks Kez back down into the mud. And he's got this like big barrel chest that he's covered in like ginger hair, and he's got scars all over him, and he's missing 2 of his front 2 teeth. And as you look up at him, Kez, you're like, this man is a fucking monster. And he's like, in this big booming voice, he's like, I'll fight her. Look at her. She's only tiny. And to be fair to you, she's really tall. To her, he's really tall. This man is fucking huge. And he comes in, he's like, I'll take it on. And before the bookmaker even gets a chance to do it, he's up and over the fence. And like, that's it. The rules of the ring are fixed. There's 2 people in the ring and they're going to fight. And the bookmaker's like, let me come up with a name for this man. All right. So he's like, so he kind of, the bookmaker looks happy, right? Looks happy that this situation has occurred. And he's like, Big Jeffrey Red himself. There he is. And he's like, so the bookmaker kind of like lifts himself up as tall as this tiny man I say tiny, as tall as this short man on these boxes can lift himself up, and he starts proclaiming out to and people start coming out of the. You hear the city bells are striking midday. So you've been here for a few hours at this point, looking around and stuff. And the lunchtime crowd are starting to gather, and you see the butchers and the slaughterhouses coming up. They're coming out from the slaughterhouse lane, and they've still got their aprons on, and they're ready for an afternoon couple of mugs of ale, and they're here to watch a fight and stuff. And the bookmaker's like calling people over. He's like, right, this is it. The first fight of the day. We've got Jenny Dobbs, our champion of the week. And then we've got Big Jeffrey Red, back from the dead, they say.
How is Jenny looking? Like, with Jeff in the ring.
She is, like when you back a tiger into the back of a cage.
Mm-hmm.
That's how she looks. She's like a spring pushed really, really tight.
Oh, that's
she's
fun.
Quiet. She's quiet is the thing. That's what you notice about Jenny. While Big Jeffrey Red, back from the dead, is wandering around the ring and he's shaking people's hands and he's clapping them on their back and he's kind of like messing up people's hair and stuff like that. Like he's putting on a big front. And then Jenny is like, you see her across the ring and she's like cold, dead-eyed, focused in, quiet. She's a professional. That's the vibe you get from her.
Even though, based on that and Tim's assessment, I feel like it's going to go Jenny Dobbs' way. Do we want to say if we pool our money and just put half of it on Jenny, half of it on Jeffrey, then we're getting some money anyway.
Yeah,
hold on. I mean, we're pooling our money. And we're putting half on a winner, half on a... I don't think that's how gambling works.
I think...
If you really thought about it.
Yeah, but if you got
above the table, Dave is totally right here. If you bet your money half and half and you get 2-1, you're just going to get the same amount of money back at the end.
That's if it's 2-1. But if
we should go for Jenny.
Okay.
We should go for Jenny. I know that look on her face. Yeah.
Obviously, we won't put.
Okay, well, if this is the case,
not
then
everything we have to our name, but we'll. Yeah,
can I try and do the same size up on Ginger Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely can. Yeah.
Okay, so it was 3d6 and a d8, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was it 5 dice?
No, it was 4 dice.
4 dice. Perfect.
4 dice. Yeah.
Okay, 7, 6, 6, 4.
Yeah, that's definitely a success. So this is a man who is probably in his late 40s. Looks like he's been around the block a bit, and you can hear people. He was introduced as Big Jeffrey Red back from the dead. So, like, it's unclear what that means. You don't have the kind of local knowledge of who this bloke is and why they're calling him Jeffrey Red back from the dead. But they are for some reason, and he seems to be quite happy with this name. But it's unclear where that comes from. He looks fresh. He looks ready to go. He looks like he's had a good breakfast. And he's showboating. He's overconfident, is what I would say.
Right. So, I mean, he's in good shape.
Yeah. I mean, he's big. He's built like a fucking ox.
Okay. So I can't see any sort of very sort of obvious weakness or even unobvious weakness. So,
how's he breathing?
How's he breathing?
Probably through his nose.
Could I use some of my own experience as a blacksmith, because I would have need to see how people are moving with weapons to gauge if things are going to work?
I think that's a bit of a stretch on this.
A bit of a stretch. Okay, grand.
Yeah, I
but
think that's
in general, how is he breathing though? Since he climbed over and is like going around shaking hands, is he huffing? Could his cardio be terrible?
No.
Fuck.
No, he seems like he's in good shape. Fit as a fiddle, I'd say.
But he's just back from the dead. Maybe it's not too far away.
I suppose whatever we can spare, we'll put it on Jenny. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
We want to keep a meager amount of money because, I mean, presumably they might put us up at the Pilgrim down in the tunnels even. But
right.
Yeah.
Can I just... Have you ever gone to a fight before? Jenny's carrying about fucking 2 or 3 injuries right over a long period of time. And this fucker, Ginger Jeff, he's in fucking great shape. So...
But
I'm fairly sure if this were a fair fight, she's fucked.
Well, I had to go
to make money
and heard a story about David and Goliath.
Put it on him. David sounds like a shit name. Don't worry about it. Anyway, listen. All right, what I'm saying to you is fucking put your money on Ginger Jeff.
Tim, if we put our money on Ginger Jeff, that is any chance you have with Jenny. Just remember that.
Well, all I'm saying is we don't have to tell her that I bet against her.
Oh, she's going to see.
So as you're having this discussion,
yeah. Jeff.
As you're having this discussion, the bookmaker shouts, "Right, last bets," and he rings this little handbell.
Right, I put all my money on
yeah,
Ginger Jeff.
I put Gareth puts his bet on Jenny Dobbs.
Anyone else for any more?
Right, fuck all money.
No, we can't piss away all our money.
All right. All right, so as these two bets go in, and the bookmaker is quite a lot of people have put money down. It looks like, and the bookmaker's got it. He's put the money into his purse. Now he's marked down what's going on.
How's the betting going? Like,
well, I mean that would be telling, right? But you've got a sense it's a pretty even split. Okay. The showman, like this big Jeff Red has got like he's been showboating, he's been going around. It looks like he's probably got the preponderance of bets on it.
Okay. All
right. Let's call it 75-25 on Big Jeff Red. So the bookmaker closes the bets and he rings the bell and he's like, right, everyone, time for it. It's first one to yield is the loser, and then bets will be paid out after that. Winnings will be paid out after that. And he's like, on my left, you've got Jenny Dobbs, local champion she is. And then on my right, you've got Big Jeff Red back from the dead. Here he comes. He's back. He's back in the ring for the first time in 2 years. We haven't seen him for. And it looks as good as ever he does. And they start to, he rings the bell again and they start to circle each other. And there's a couple of little like sneaky shadow jabs and stuff like that. Jenny is keeping out of the way of this big bloke.
Mm-hmm. Are they like the high walls that we're kind of looking over, like a neck?
No, it's a fence basically. Okay. It's like a kind of a waist high fence.
Okay.
And you see Jenny is like the Big Jeff is taunting Jenny. He's throwing insults out at her. The crowd are kind of buying along with it and they're kind of laughing at her and she's got that steely gaze and stuff. Mm-hmm. And Big Jeff goes for a swing. He goes for a big haymaker and she kind of ducks underneath it. And he's a bit like, the crowd kind of laugh at him because he's missed and he kind of turns around and laughs it off a little bit. And then he turns around and he goes for another one and he goes for a couple of jabs and he catches her in the ribs. And she goes, this is a big hit. You know, you get that like wet squelch. You hear it when people are bare knuckle boxing. That wet squelch right in her ribs. And she goes down to one knee and she loses her breath. And the bookmaker is looking very happy with himself. So as like, let's say,
can I be watching the bookmaker?
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought Clement would be watching the bookmaker here. So Clement sees that the bookmaker is looking particularly happy with himself when this happens. And
Jenny, come on.
Rather than going in for, again, Big Jeff is a showman. So rather than going in for another punch, he kind of steps back and he's kind of making this last. He wants the crowd to get their money's worth. Jenny pulls herself back up and she's kind of like, you see her like with her left hand clutching at this right hand side of her ribs, right hand side of her chest. And she sounds a little bit raspy. It sounds like her breath's kind of going from her. Maybe he might even have punctured a lung. And Jeff recognizes this, and the crowd is like, okay, this is going to be over quicker than we thought, but it's going to be a good one. And Jeff turns around and he winds in for that haymaker and he goes straight swinging around for it. And Jenny, quick as lightning, ducks that punch straight to the guy's jaw. And this 6'8" hulk of a man goes down like a sack of shit, straight to the ground. And the crowd are just like, there's this huge intake of breath as she lands that punch. Mm-hmm. And he goes down and everyone's looking at him and looking at each other and then just uproar. Yeah. Everyone's just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And Jenny walks over. Clement, did you see where's the bookmaker gone, by the way?
That's why I was where's he gone? Because this is staged.
So Clement has seen, just as the bookmaker sees that punch and sees this guy go down, before he's even hit the floor, that bookmaker is off his box and is running out of Narrow Marsh. And that is the last you're going to see of him, because the whole crowd are like, they've jumped into the ring and they've picked Jenny up and they're all walking her on their shoulders into the downtrodden. And unfortunately, both of you who've placed bets have lost your money because that bookmaker is long fucking gone. But
on either side, he's just absconded with the money.
He's gone. He's right.
Amazing.
I should have I had a tiny inkling. I was like,
I knew I was right to keep my money.
But who's going to pay Jenny or Ginger Jeff?
Well, at the moment, no one else other than Clement and you guys have noticed that the bookmakers run off because everyone was so impressed with that one punch knockout. Like Jeff's just laid face down in the mud in the ring, and Jenny's been picked up and carried off into the pub.
Clement, which way did he go?
Went off down that way. I think we might get back in touch with the king and have his men do a little bit of a scout around.
No, I think we should go and fuck him up.
I don't think we need. I think we
How?
let the court deal with that, and then the court take a bit of a cut.
I think Jenny deserves her wages.
Yeah.
This fella.
Well, I feel like Jenny's probably getting her wages at a later date.
Well,
You don't know. You never know.
So, do you want to? Are we going off after the bookmaker? Like Clement has seen where he's gone. Are you guys going off after the bookmaker?
Clement would definitely be interested in catching up with that individual. Yes,
I think we'll try, but I don't like our chances considering he had obviously planned an escape, and we don't know this city. But
I think Kez will want to talk to Jenny.
Will we just keep an eye out for him?
I was going to let the
T.
No, you're good. No, I was going to say Kez will want to talk to Jenny, so they're going to kind of wait until the crowd is kind of dispersed around them and try and get to talk to them.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, remember in Gallows Corner, it's fine for you to split the party as well. That's an acceptable thing to do.
I think Tim is happy to hang out with Kez as well, and hopefully get to chat to
Gareth will go with Clement if Clement is.
Clement will be headed either find that guy or go back to the sewers and find out what the king might know about particular bookkeepers playing the odds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. So what we're going to do then, we're going to have as Kez and Tim are kind of moving towards the downtrodden inn to try and kind of like get through the crowd to have some FaceTime with Jenny. We'll say that Clement and Gareth go running off because Gareth, this guy's got your money. This guy's got Gareth's money as well, right?
And that's the king's money. That's the
exactly. You guys go running off down the alleyway.
Yeah.
Rep, will you roll me a D10, please?
For sure.
I'm like one of those people that's like at an auction on the
How's
phone,
another
like,
free?
Someone else.
Yeah, roll me another one.
Another free. Damn it. A 10 this time.
A 10. Okay. So you saw the bookmaker run down into Slaughterhouse Lane, right? Plenty of alleyways, plenty of stockyards, plenty of places he could lose himself. And as you go running about 100 yards into Slaughterhouse Lane. And as you look down the hill, you see the bookmaker being forced back up the hill by this herd of these drovers and this herd of cattle that are pushing. And he's really frantically trying to work around. But like these cows are tall animals, right? And he's not a tall man. As he's trying to work his way through, but he's being forced back and forced back. And as you're coming down and coming up to him, you see just coming out of one of the alleyways ahead of you, you see a woman in like a black leather apron. And you see some people kind of nodding to her as she walks by. She's evidently commands some kind of respect around here. And just as you come up behind her, the bookmaker turns around and sees her, and he looks up and he's like, "Oh shit, Joy, I'm so sorry." And you see her pull out a cleaver, and she's like, "I've told you before, John. I've told you before about trying to rip me off. And what did I say had happened to you? I said I'd take a finger, didn't I?" And she grabs the man's hand. And then she grabs the hand and she puts the cleaver away just for a second and she rips his purse off of him. And then she kind of looks up and she grabs his wrist. And so, like she's trying to kind of squeeze his hand out. Mm-hmm. And she picks the cleaver back up and she's looking at his hand, and this bookmaker's like, "Please, Joy, I'm so sorry. I won't do it again." And she drops the cleaver and takes his little finger and just snaps it break.
Wow.
And this guy is like evidently in quite a lot of pain. And she's like, "If you come around here again, I'll take that finger off for you next time." And he goes, and he's kind of cramming his hand. I'm so sorry. She lets him go and he goes running off. And she turns around to look at you, and you notice that you saw her as one of the spectators in the fight. And she's like, I'm assuming that some of the money in this purse probably belongs to you, don't it?
Some of it does indeed, yes. It's
Yeah.
mighty fine to meet you, miss. You took our actions right away from us there, you did.
So she looks at you, and she's kind of like, as you get closer to her, she looked tall next to the bookmaker, but she's not very tall. She's probably about average height. And she looks at you and she's like, well, we get a lot of his type around here. And the marshes run themselves. And when you've got problems with someone like that, you come to Joy the Master Butcher and she'll take care of it for you. And she reaches out her hand to shake your hand.
Clement, the pleasure is all mine. It's lovely to meet you. We are newly acquainted in this city. Maybe you know a lucky lady from these parts once upon a time?
Oh, a lucky lady, is it? And she winks at you and she's like, yeah, I might be acquainted with a few lucky ladies. Yeah.
We might discuss our mutual acquaintances maybe in your fine shop.
Oh, friends in green places, is it? That's the way we normally refer.
He'll shake her head, and he says, as he shakes, he's like, there's a little bit of blood, maybe. And he says, much better than what I got on my hand from Challen earlier.
She's like, Challen. So she laughs and she's like, Challen, well, he's harmless enough if you don't get on the wrong side of him. And whatever you do, don't try and clear out that culvert. You'll see what happens whenever someone tries to do that. It ain't good for anyone involved. So she's like, well, I've got to go and return. There's people up there who need their money returning, and maybe with a little bit of profit. So if you want to come with me, I'm heading back up to the ring.
He says, yeah, well, our mates are up there anyway.
Okay, well, she's like, we'll go and see if we can make things right. So as you guys are walking back up the hill, we cut back across to Kez and Tim, who
1 second, folks.
Yep. Are we carrying on? Yep.
We're back away. Yep.
Yeah, no worries. So we're with Kez and Tim, and the press people are, the slaughterhouses and the butchers and people from around Aramash are here at the Downtrodden for their kind of lunchtime drinks and stuff like that. And a few people are buying Jenny some drinks and stuff like that, but there's a little break in the crowd, and she looks kind of alone in the crowd, right? There's a lot of people kind of celebrating around her. She's like an excuse for them to celebrate, but they're not really celebrating with her. So there is an opportunity here for you to kind of get up to her and kind of introduce yourselves.
Tim will nudge Kaz because he doesn't have the stones to go by himself at the moment.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
Kez will happily make their way through, like, seeing how everything's happening around Jen, but knowing that they must be in bits right now. And they're going to
how are you introducing yourself?
So Kez is going to go up and say, and like beside them be like, can I take a seat?
So Jenny looks down. She's used to looking down at people. But she's like, her head is, she's kind of like, she's struggling. She struggles to make eye contact, I would say. So she's like, well, yeah, pull up a stall. Bar's free for anyone. Well, not free, obviously, but if you want to. And she's kind of like, the rest of what she's saying kind of goes off into a mumble. She kind of goes quiet again.
Would you like anything from the bar?
She looks like she kind of looks around and she's like, oh, well, I mean, I wouldn't say no to a mug of cider. That would be quite nice.
Kez is going to look over at Tim and
I'd love one as well.
Tim, can you get a couple of mugs of cider, please?
Oh,
thank you.
It's like that, is it?
For now.
And yeah, Tim will sort of stand there with his hand out because he spent all his money on that fight.
He did.
He's kind of just going like,
Kez is going to trying to preserve what little honor he has. Like, Kez is just gonna kind of take a little bit out and just have it a bit to the side, so it's not straight up here, go buy something nice.
And as he walks away, Tim will say, now listen, I know I lent you a lot of money the other day, but listen, you can pay it back whenever you want. It's fine. And he'll bop off.
I love how much of a fucking grifter and geezer Tim is.
So he'll pop off to the bar, and he'll get drinks but he's like, if you can only get to the bar and you're like, you didn't want to leave that fucking that interaction, and he's like,
and you're like looking back,
and he's looking back, and he's like, come on. And I feel
moving
like it's
in on your lady, Tim.
Yeah, you
better
are,
hurry
you
up.
motherfucker. And then, but like I feel like it's probably like everyone's getting eyeballed by the barman before Tim, and he's getting real stressed about it.
Yeah, because you're not a local, right? This is the the bloke behind the bar is going to know everyone here. He's going to be catching up with people, how the wife and kids, how's the family doing, all that kind of stuff. So,
and then Terry comes up to the bar after you, and he's
but he's also the fucking barman. If you've ever worked behind the bar, you know that guy. He's like he's trying to catch a ride too many times, and you're like, I'm gonna serve that motherfucker last now.
Yeah. All right. So while Tim's up at the bar,
make sure you click your fingers, Tim. That
always
that works.
Love that.
Wave the money about.
Yeah.
I every time someone did that to me working behind bars, I'd be like, right, well, you're next. That's you one step back, step back.
Back to the queue, not one step back to the queue.
Yeah.
Like nobody in front of me. I have to clean glasses.
So, Kez, you are with Jenny while Tim's off getting drinks. What's the topic of conversation?
How bad is it?
So Jenny kind of like you can see she's still kind of rubbing at it. She's like, it nothing I haven't had before. In this line of work, you put your body on the line, you get your payday, and then you do it again.
How would you feel about having a bit of a break from the next time you have to put your body on the line like that?
Oh, she looks at you and she makes eye contact properly for the first time, and she's like, ain't much work for people like me, I don't think.
You'd be surprised.
What, are you offering me a job of some sort?
Of some sort. It depends. How do you feel about those who live further uphill?
So she scoffs and she's like, I know their sort. They've offered me different kinds of work before. You ain't one of them, are you? And she kind of like, you see her body, like, you know, you've seen Bronson, right? You know that bit where he gives that guy some tea and then just like this, and you see all the sinews. She's not doing that, but you can almost hear her muscles kind of tense up.
I have dealt with that sort myself, if that's what you're asking.
So you're not one of them. You've not come from the sheriff.
No, not from the sheriff, but there is work for strong, able-bodied people if you're looking.
So she kind of leans in a little bit and she's like, have you come from the forest? Did you come from Sherwood?
Yes. But Kez is going to like look around and see if there's any like danglers on who are like paying attention, and they're going to like lean in real close. And this is also for Tim's benefit, to make it look like they're flirting. They're going to like lean in real close.
Real close.
Real close.
He's looking back now. Fuck.
Yeah, real close.
Where's the barman?
He starts clicking his fingers towards the barman. Come on.
So Jenny she leans back and she looks you in the eye and she's like, that sounds like work I could take on. Now, T, I'm giving you an opportunity here to recruit Jenny as a retainer.
Fuck yeah, get in!
Do it. Yeah, but now, Tim, you see, it would be very inappropriate for Kez to sleep with her.
Yeah, it would be very inappropriate for me to sleep with her.
Yeah,
you know,
we don't do those kinds of power relationships, those imbalanced
Never.
relationships. All right, so T, I'm going to give you Jenny's job and her dice and stuff like that, as well as her skill. So perfect. Jenny, this is Jenny Dobbs. She is a bare knuckle boxer champion, as you have seen. So she is a pugilist.
Yeah.
That's her job. Her trade is the body. Her job is a pugilist. And her skill. Roll me a D4, please.
Ooh, D4. My least used dice. Let's go. And that is a 2.
A 2. So Jenny's skill is fierce reputation. The description for this is your peers avoid getting on your wrong side. They've heard what you did to that bloke 2 towns over, and they don't want that to happen to them. However you earned it, intimidation follows your every step, and all know that you are not someone to be messed with. So you, with the way the retainer and retinue, so you are the first person since I was early playtesting this. So I've played this game with a lot of people now. You are the first person in a long time to have a retainer. And so I want you to feel this is a big honor for you here, even if it doesn't feel like one. So Jenny is you are now able to use Jenny's dice. You are able to use Jenny's skills. You are able to basically use Jenny as an extension of your own character. She is never the perspective character, but she is, as long as she is with you, she can be involved in what you're doing.
I presume, George, you mean like as long as she's physically
present. Yeah. So what you can also do, I will add, and this is nicely coincidental because we gave you an opportunity earlier on. You can spend opportunities to send your retainers off camera on missions on your behalf.
And Debbie.
I don't know that there's going to be much need for that in this particular session, but that is something you are able to do as part of the Gallows Corner system.
Cool.
So by the time, Tim finally gets served at the bar. And as he comes back over, it's been about 10 minutes. And as he comes back over, he sees a handshake between Kez and Jenny. And the bond is sealed. She's now part of your retinue.
Hello. I got a bunch of drinks here. So I don't know if we've been introduced, Jenny. My name is Tim. Some people call me the Bagman, but my old mum called me Tim.
So Jenny looks over to Kez and giving that kind of like, is he all right?
Kez is going to say, Tim, he's pulled through for me more times than I can count. He's a reliable sort.
All right, so Jenny stretches out her hand and shakes Tim's hand, and like she's giving it a squeeze. She's kind of feeling Tim out, and she's like this because with Jenny being part of the body trade, and the way she understands the world is a series of things to be endured physically, right? Yeah. So she's kind of sizing you up.
Well, his physical's a D8, so he knows how that handshake works. He knows like to not let her grab just the ends of the fingers and make this a shit handshake. So he knows to get in there, the finger along the palm, so nobody can squash the wrist, so no one can squash your hand. All the rest of it. So he's
giving a good show of himself.
Giving a good show of it. Yeah, big time.
Okay. All right. So as the three of you are kind of getting to know each other a little bit, we'll jump back. Well, what we'll do is we'll bring Clement and Gareth and Joy, the Master Butcher, back into the room. And as at this point, people have started to notice that the bookmaker is gone. And people thought maybe they just couldn't see him at first, but like some murmuring and some arguing has broken out, but Joy walks in and she kind of raises her hand in the air, and people know her and respect her, especially considering that this is an inn where a lot of the like butchers and slaughterhouses and skinners drink, so they know Joy. They know her by reputation as a master butcher. And as she puts her hand up, the bar goes quiet and everyone's looking around, and she's like, well, everyone, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that bookmaker wasn't worth the paper in that pad. And everyone's like, oh, so you hear someone shout out, it's like, has he done it again? Has he run off? And Joy's like, yeah, he has. And she does that kind of like mock disappointment, and everyone's like, oh, for fuck's sake, everyone under their breath. And then she kind of like, she looks up and laughs, and she's like, but I broke his finger and I stole his purse. And everyone's like, way.
Yay.
And she's like, right, come on over here, lads. and like everyone, you get the sense that she's she's very well respected. Come over here, lads. I'll pay you out what you spent, and we'll get that all sorted out. So people start coming out, and they're paying. She's paying it back and stuff.
Can I collect Kez's money for her?
Yeah,
and
Kez didn't put any money in.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I didn't want us all to lose our money.
Okay,
so
I will collect mine though. And is it just the one type of cider, or is there?
Are you trying to get Jenny a fancy cider?
Craft cider, yeah.
I mean, it's all made by alewives, so technically it's all craft cider. Right?
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, sorry. Did Joy get? I mean, did she also get his book? I mean, I know you.
No, she's just she's paying out everyone what they paid in, and so she's relying on people to be honest.
Well, this is my
You still got the cleaver hanging by her side.
This is my question.
Oh yeah, fair.
There is opportunity for one to.
I mean, there is Gareth. If that's what Gareth wants to do, then we can set.
No, Gareth isn't doing it. I'm making Dave aware of that. As
You're making me aware. Sorry, aware of what?
Well, I suppose Tim wouldn't. Actually, Tim wouldn't know whether or not she knows. If she knows how much money was taken from everybody.
Oh, yeah. I think if there was money owed to Kaz, he would have gotten it and shortchanged her a little bit. Look, it's his tip for going to the bar. And I think then he would have got his own money back. He's not trying to rob anyone else at our level. So.
All right. Well, what we'll do in this case, then, we'll say that Joy pays everyone back, and then some people stand her some drinks at the bar, and she puts the purse back onto her belt. Now, in the interest of time, and given the fact that we're live streaming, I would have given Rep and Ben the opportunity. Had you been able to better get to know Joy, then she would have been one of the characters you could have recruited. So around the Narrows, you could have recruited Challen, you could have recruited Joy, you have recruited Jenny.
I thought they may have been a little bit kind of at our level or sort of above, that they would have sort of been more authority figures.
Yeah, I didn't think Challen.
You could just because they're a higher authority level than you doesn't mean like they might be influential in the given space, but that doesn't mean they're not going to. What we're doing at the moment is most of these people are like temporary retainers until the journey is finished. But in Jenny's case, I liked the way that T finessed that. Yeah. And Jenny, of all of those people, Jenny is someone who is, in my mind at least, Jenny is someone who's looking to join something. She's looking to escape.
It's certainly Joy, it's the kind of person that makes the most sense to like
exactly. So Joy is a master butcher, right? Joy is doesn't like the system but is plying her trade. Aubrey, who's the nun, who's the ex-nun who's running the hospital, is going to be hard to convince to leave this vocation. And Challen is king of the ditch, right? He's like he's happy as a pig in shit, but he also wants to cause some trouble. But T recognized that Jenny is the most vulnerable one here. Yeah. Is the one who desperately doesn't really want to be doing this anymore.
Has the least to lose as well.
Yeah.
And the most to gain. Sorry, George, would it now, in terms of chatting to Joy, the sense that we got, if she is a bit of, as I said, if she also has friends in green places, if there is excess, Gareth was going to ask, seeing her pocket the thing and sort of try and say to her, if there is some excess, now we're doing something here to help the poor people who are going to get hanged in 5 days. If there's a little excess, at least we could call it a loan, but we're going to get some help from Challen, but he's looking for some silver. And
so Joy
that be sort of put to good use for the,
Joy drains her mug of ale, and Gareth is being tested on his ability to convince Joy that this is the money that she's come into off of her own, off of her own hard work, even if it isn't her money, is that she should be donating or loaning this money. So that's what Gareth is being tested on.
Yeah, and he's gonna, as in, like, I'll take that debt personally.
Okay. So build your dice pool.
Well, emotional anyway for the D6. I'm going to argue for intellectual, because he's going to try and argue that, well, look, this is 50 people who are going to get hanged. That's 50 less people feeding into the local economy. That's 50 less people that are ever going to need a cut, a slice of pork or a bit of salt beef.
This is one of those things that I'm going to do as a narrator to show what. No. So it's an absolutely fine thing for you to do, right? Absolutely fine thing for you to do. I would have said. And so this, I'm trying to, just for the benefit of you guys and for the benefit of people watching, in terms of like how you go about narrating Gallows Corner. I would say that you have, by making that argument, you have misread Joy, right? Joy is someone who is she's not like self-interested like that. However, you have noted that as a butcher, the trade she belongs to is the market. And there are deals to be made. The way people who are working the market, whose trade is the market, see the world as a series of opportunities, a series of deals to be made, right? And so in this sense, I will allow that argument this time and allow you to use your intellectual. I would say the better approach would have been, this is an investment, right? That you could have said to Joy, you are investing in our ability to change Nottingham for the better, right? So she would have been most interested in it's an investment, it's a deal to be made, but for the betterment of everyone, rather than it's an investment because you're going to have more customers here, right? But either way, the intellectual is allowed here.
Yeah, as I said, I misread. Initially, I thought maybe she was more of a, that kind of Robin Hood type of self, but then I thought maybe if she was, but now this is going to be more of a stretch. But my trade is the body, as someone who sees things as a series of life, as a series of things to be endured. He's going to press the matter of this is of hardship. Now you do this, but dividends paid, and that sometimes it's just for the betterment of all these things. If you can suffer this sort of loss now, then it might pay back, and that you'd see it as.
All right, so I'm going to do the same thing again above the table, right? So the body, normally I would say no here, right? I would say the body's definitely not relevant here. However, you have said to Joy that you will take on this debt personally, and you've seen what she does to people who cross her. You are putting your body on the line as collateral for this, right? That's essentially the way she's
10 fingers. He'll be fine.
I do. I promise. I'm not making. That was also maybe my next point for the body, is that for Gareth, this is something, and not even that, but then just the hardship he's going to endure, because his sort of get out of jail free card of, right, if I end up in debt or we don't have any money for Challen, he's going to lose this chainmail, which has up to this point made him feel much more protected, and that he can weather these blows that are going to be thrown at him.
All right, so that's fine. We're not going to bring the servant in here.
No, it's not.
So emotional, intellectual, and the trade dice are totally fine.
Oh, okay. Did get 1-5, so
okay.
Yeah, 4
so just about
Joy sizes you up, and she looks at your fingers. You notice her lingering on your fingers for a while. And then she takes the purse and she puts it down on the table. And she's like, consider that a donation.
Oh.
But she's like, if you mess this up, I'm coming for you.
You can have him.
He says, don't worry, I'll hold my hand flat against the block. Says, I'll give you get you a good chop.
So she nods and she slides it across the table, and she's like, right, you and me, we don't know each other. Now get the fuck out of here. So with that note, we're going to take a little 5-minute break, I think.
Before we do that, I think we should point out we are currently number 1 in the English-speaking tabletop RPGs category on Twitch.
Perfect. Thank you everyone for being here.
Thanks,
I hope everyone's
everyone.
enjoying it.
The revolution will be streamed.
It will be televised.
See you in a few.
See you soon.
See you.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the stream. We are playing Gallows Corner. Before we start rolling those dice again, though, just a quick word about our channel here on the Emerald Collective Twitch. We stream several great campaigns and one-shots like this one. So let's just take a little bit of a look at what's to come in the week ahead. In Dice-Sized Tales, the crew of the USCSS Montero returns Thursday, February 26th in Chariot of the Gods, Episode 3, Separation Anxiety. The crew has boarded the USCSS Cronus, a long-lost Wayland science vessel, and found a rather grisly scene playing out within its darkened hallways. After performing an initial survey of the Cronus's condition and realizing the extent of the repairs required on board, the crew decided to return to the Montero to pick up their engineer, Russell. Before they were able to get aboard, however, danger struck the party as two grotesquely mutated humans in antique spacesuits attacked both the crew on the hull of the Cronus, but also inside the Montero, where Russell stands alone, fighting for his life as he awaits the crew's arrival. Will the team make it back? Will the away team make it back to the Montero in time to save Russell, or is their best chance at repairing the Cronus about to be pounded into a streak of paste against the Montero's floors?
Love it.
The Sophorone Saga continues on. Oh, that is the Alien RPG, in case the Wayland reference didn't give it away. The Sophorone Saga continues on Friday with our own GM Dave, who's playing our favorite geezer, Tim. With the party having fled the city of Artex for the murder of one of Sophrone's noble class, they take refuge in the Drakewar Forest, an ancient woodland that some say still carries echoes of the Dragonborn that once ruled the kingdom. Will the party's Dragonborn scales unearth some information as to his origins in this ancient place? Will Valdar and the agents of King Gregor send a force into the Drakewar Forest after the party? And will the Archfey behind the creation of the undead vengeance entity, the Spectre, decide to keep an eye on this entertaining bunch of folks? Well, you'll just have to find out. Then next Tuesday, you can catch Arcane Adventures in Andromedus. The party gambled their years to retrieve a Reaper cycle, but will it be enough to kill the entity haunting this valley? Will the Reaper come to collect before they can get the job done? You'll find out next Tuesday. If you like our shows and you haven't subbed already, please consider doing so. It does really help us out, and it allows us to keep playing RPGs with friends and making fools of ourselves for your amusement on the internet. And thanks to those of you who are subbed. This would not be possible without you. And in the spirit of community and the many, giving us strength, now let's get back to Gallows Corner, and I will hand it back to the man himself, George.
Thank you. You guys might like to know as well that the Kickstarter campaign has just broken into £69,000, which is very nice. Thank you to everyone who's watching. If you haven't already, you can go and back Gallows Corner. I think there's links in the chat. We'd really appreciate it. We're doing our social impact stretch goals as well, which I don't know if I mentioned last time, but we're currently donating £2,500 of that £69,000 to food banks here in the UK to alleviate hunger, because this is what Gallows Corner is all about.
I love that.
So if you have,
awesome.
Bravo.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. If we hit £100,000, we're upping that to $5,000. So
that's cool. I just backed it.
Let's do it.
So. Yeah,
do it, folks.
I think I'm possibly that last one, but I had to wait until payday was around the corner.
Yeah,
so.
of course. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
We
so
definitely
much.
have the chance to get it to 100k before it finishes out. So let's.
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. So if anyone can, please.
It's possible.
Do.
Yeah. Let's play an awesome game and do some good while we're at it.
100%.
All right. So in that spirit, now we are definitely not going to have enough time to get you all around Nottingham for this stream, but that's just an excuse for us to potentially run another one.
Yes.
Oh no! But what we are going to do. So evening is falling in Nottingham now. The clock has ticked, and we are in the evening of day one. And Kez and Jenny have been getting to know each other, and Jenny's been getting to know the rest of our motley crew, and Tim's kind of like twirling his moustache, and he's kind of slicking his hair back a little bit, and he's hovering around the edge.
Myself.
And Jenny, Jenny is local. It turns out Jenny has been in Nottingham for as long as she can remember. She doesn't think she was born here, but she can't really remember being anywhere else, and so she's actually quite a useful bit of a guide to the city, and she takes you as you found a quiet place, and you've had your lunch and stuff like that, and she's guiding you a bit around the city, and she's like, well, the best place, if you guys want somewhere to stay for the night, it depends on how they take to you, of course, but if you want somewhere to stay for the night, and if you want a place to fall back to, then the Pilgrim's where you're going to want to go. And so she starts walking you. She walks you kind of up to the top of Narrow Marsh, where the road splits into three, and directly up ahead of you, you can see the castle. And as the sun is setting in the west, the cliffs and as the sun is getting ready to set, the cliffs up the side of the castle on the western castle wall are kind of like bathed in gold. And this is, you can see Sherwood, you can see the Greenwood off to the south. Sorry, it would be off to the kind of south and east, and you can see the gallows there, kind of falling into shadow in between Nottingham's castle walls and the forest. And she steers you left down towards the Pilgrim pub. At the foot of Castle Rock stands the Pilgrim, a pub as old as Nottingham itself. Witness to every change this city has undergone, the Pilgrim got its name by providing a meeting point for those setting out to Canterbury on yearly pilgrimages. Jenny tells you it's also a favourite of the city's rougher types who are grateful for the landlady's discretion, and she, in turn, keeps secrets of her own. A vast cavern system, Jenny says, stretches under Castle Rock, is hidden away behind a locked oak door. Now, Jenny is at pains to remind you that she has never seen it, and she doesn't know anyone that has, but anyone who's anyone among the lower classes at the very least is convinced that these caverns are there. So as you approach the pub, the way that I would describe it is, this is a pub that has stood for nearly 300 years or more. One might expect that it had seen better days, but not so for the Pilgrim. It is proud and well taken care of. It's painted a bright yellow, and as you walk up to it, you can see there's a large open serving room. There's people are kind of like stood around big old barrels outside, drinking in the kind of evening sun. It's like a perfect, you know what it's like, right? In the summer when you can wear a t-shirt at 8 o'clock in the evening and you can drink in a pub beer garden. Yes. It's that. That's my happy place, right? And that's what we're seeing at the Pilgrim pub. Amazing. People are there and people are happy, right? And this is nice for you guys because you've been through it the last couple of weeks. You've been living out in the forest. You've left York. You've seen all this horrible shit. You've saved someone from the gallows, and then suddenly it's like it's beer garden weather, and this is nice. As you walk up to the door, you see two. They look like they must be brothers. They could be twins. If you saw them at night, they could be twins, but they must be brothers, and they are both. This was recommended to me by someone else I ran this adventure for. They are both bald blokes, probably in their late 20s, early 30s. One of them's a bit taller than the other, but they're clearly brothers. And as you approach the door, they get a look at Jenny, and they give Jenny a nod, and Jenny's kind of like, is actually probably a bit taller than the shorter one and a little bit shorter than the taller one, which means they're pretty big blokes. And they wave Jenny in. And then as you guys try to follow Jenny in, they kind of pull themselves a bit closer together. And the shorter one is like, I haven't seen you around here before.
We're with her.
Oh, with Jenny?
Yeah.
So the taller one kind of looks Tim up and down. He's like, Jenny wouldn't be hanging around with the likes of you sorry sack of shit. Who the fuck do you think?
What do you think we're walking in right behind her then?
Well, a lot of people walk behind Jenny. She's good for getting in places. Look at the size of her.
Well, he'll shout behind her. Jenny.
We're with Jenny now, but we were dropped off at the city by our mutual friend Laura.
So they look at each other, and he's like, "Don't know a Laura. I haven't heard of a Laura in a long time."
You must not be a lucky one then.
No, we don't much hold him for luck round here. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna.
You a bit green at this.
Gareth is being tested on his ability to determine if these blokes are telling the truth or not.
Yeah. I'll go for emotional. He was a household guard As I said, not really like the fighting kind, but you
you'd have to get the body before you got to servant, though. So
yes, that is true. That is true. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'll do emotional. Obviously, just trying to read someone's aces. I could. Well, let's see. Is it if I argue for physical? Is that really my own physicality, or could I say with their body language?
I think in this case, I think you're probably only going to be able to pull emotional on this one. And there's not. This is not one with massive consequences. You're trying to see if these guys are having you on or not.
Yeah. 6.
So you can tell that they are lying to you. They do know at least of Laura, but they are not predisposed. These are people that play things very close to their chest. They don't know who you are. They know you say you know Laura, but then Laura's a wanted outlaw. Everyone knows her. It's whether they know her is the thing, right? That's the thing. Everyone knows of her. So they don't know if you're trading on knowledge at the moment.
Gareth is gonna take a gamble, and he's gonna look around, and he says, you don't know us. He says, so we're not from around here. Could we agree on that? He says, so I'm not one of the sheriff's men, am I?
So the guy, all right. So that's an interesting approach.
Then he looks around and he pulls up from where he has a sort of wrapped around his back and wrapped up in a little bundle of cloth. And he says, he pulls out, he just shows the pommel and the handle and the hilt. And he says, then what am I doing with one of the sheriff's men's swords? And how do you think I got it?
Okay. All right. This is an interesting approach. Gareth is being tested on his ability to convince these blokes that he's not threatening them, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because that act could be because from the other side, I could be like, well, the sheriff's men would say they weren't one of the sheriff's men, and you are carrying one of the sheriff's swords.
That's as I say, it's the gamble.
You've just brandished it at us.
I've pointed the handle at him.
But that, if I wanted to threaten someone with a sword, I'd just show them the sword. But anyway, so this is the potential that's going through their heads. So you are being tested on your ability to convince these blokes that you are not threatening them, that you are trying to say who you are.
Yeah. Well, I'll go for emotional to just say calm. I'm trying to appear like I'm just putting it to them. They're like, look, this is I'm trying to be honest with you here, but obviously it's surrounded. I argue my own physicality with the body language. He's not drawing it too quick. He's not touching.
No, I think that's sensible.
He's like basically presenting the hilt of the sword to them.
Yeah.
And then now again, I'll say with the trade of the body again. I feel like I'm putting my own physical safety on the line. These guys could. Never mind kick the shit out of me. They could rip the sword out of the scabbard and have my hand off.
Yeah.
And then if I could argue for the servant, this is someone who you have to put up with a lot of shit and people giving you shit and swallow it and just stand
I think
there
so. I think that's
and just
totally
stand
fine.
still. And
what was your servant's skill, by the way?
Insider knowledge.
Yeah, that wouldn't come in here. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
So
yeah, those 4 dice absolutely fine.
Maybe when we get to the castle, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank fuck! I got 1 6. I saw 3 3 1. I was like, I've not got a single 5 or higher.
Okay, so as you proffer this sword to them discreetly, the taller guy leans in and he draws the sword out a little bit and he looks down at it. He looks up at you and he's like, you know what the punishment is for carrying one of these without a warrant, right? And he pushes it back in and he slides it back round you and he pats you on the arm, and him and his brother step aside and let you walk into the pub.
Is there anyone around here that sees that and that might think that they could make some money by turning him in?
No, these two blokes are very clearly skilled at what they're doing here. They are, like I said, they play things close to the chest. He's not going to have made like a show of that.
Cool. Well, we'll head in, so.
All right, so as you walk into the pub, you see there's a lot of people around. Actually, Dave, roll me a D10, please, mate.
D10. That is a 9.
A 9.
Good or bad?
So as you walk in, there's a lot of people around. Actually, T, roll me a D10 as well, but don't tell me the result yet. As you walk in, there's a lot of people around.
Bad was the answer.
No, it was good. This is a good one, believe me. In fact, almost all of these ones on this table, I'm really happy. So, like each above the table, each of the locations has a D10 random events thing, and Dave's just rolled a really nice one that I'm really happy that I get to introduce, but I want to add a couple of additional things going on around it as well. So as you walk in, this is a happy place, right? People are when you find your people, right? You find your people and they're all in one place. This is that kind of place, right? And it's clear that everyone has a lot of respect for the woman who's behind the bar, and it's not too it's rowdy without being disrespectful, right?
They're in their mom's house.
Exactly. Yeah. And as you're walking through, there's some people playing dice in one corner, people are getting drinks in, people are talking, kind of like telling jokes and stuff. And as you walk past the table, this woman gets down on one knee and proposes to the most beautiful man you've ever seen. And everyone's kind of laughing at them. And the guy kind of like blushes and kind of like gets a little bit choked up and then picks the woman up and says yes and spins her around. And then you've just seen a proposal happen. T, what was your D10? I think you're on mute. Yeah.
Are you on mute on Zoom? Nope. Hello.
Right. Could you show me using your fingers? Oh, there you go. You're back.
Yeah. I'm an 8.
An 8. All right. So as everyone's like, as everyone's celebrating this proposal, and you hear people shouting for drinks, and everyone, like the women behind the bar are like serving up these drinks, a monk stands up and he is absolutely wrecked. He's completely off of his nut. And he starts like, as he's got a beer in one hand and he's like staggering about and he's slurring. But as you get closer to him, you hear that he's preaching against the evils of drink while he's really, really drunk. And someone claps him on the back and he just kind of falls down and falls asleep. So as you approach the bar, there's a woman, there's 3 women behind the bar who are kind of like, they're probably in their 20s or 30s. And then there's an older woman who sat on a stall at the end of the bar. Clearly she is the woman who's in charge here. And as you kind of sidle up to her, and as you're kind of at the bar and Jenny's kind of ordering some drinks in and saying hi to people, it's clear that Jenny is far more comfortable here than she was in Narrow Marsh around the ring. It's clear that people here like her for who she is rather than what she can do. Exactly. So she starts getting some drinks in. And as you're kind of stood at the bar, you notice that the woman who sat at the end, she's kind of grey, probably in her 50s or 60s, something like that. And she looks strikingly like the 2 blokes at the door. And she's, you know, when they're trying to kind of, they're eyeing you up, but they're trying not to be too obvious. Now, she's not trying to hide the fact that she's eyeing you up because, like, this is, by the look of it, this is her fucking pub. But she's also not being really obvious about it. She's not shooting daggers at you, but she's kind of sizing you up.
Sorry, I've just copped because I thought to myself, I was like, oh, get out of my pub, and then I've just copped the 2 baldy sons.
Well done.
We're dealing with Peggy Mitchell.
He's clicked it. I was originally, that wasn't my intention, but someone was like, you have to make them. That's who you have to make them.
I think Tim is going to head up to her.
Yeah.
And he'll kind of turn around to the gang and go, "You all get your seats there. I'll sort us out with the drinks.
So you'll be
Don't take as long as last time.
Well, I'm not in as much of a rush anymore. It just seems. Anyway, yeah,
Right.
I'll be as quick as I fucking can. So he scuttles up. I'm
Sorry, you her third long lost son as well. All right, Mum.
Tim is like so. For anyone that hasn't seen the story before, Tim is he's quite tall. He does have sort of these two strings of hair across a balding pate that he's very sort of makes. He's very careful to make sure that they're in just the right place. My
Except
God,
where it's wind.
Jesus,
I see him.
Yeah,
I
they're
see him like Riff Raff
Yes,
from.
that's exactly how I explained him last time.
That's why I remember now. Yeah.
I'm like just that tactical like coma where he's like,
it is, but it's just and like it's a bad day when he like his one wash every fucking month, like when he finds like a hair in the plug hole. He's just like, God, not another one. So he walks up and he's like, he knows she's in charge, and he's gonna order drinks for the gang, and he's gonna go, hello, I seen you looking my way. Well, I just thought it would be. Sorry, T. Yeah, I seen you looking my way. I just thought, well, mother of the house, thought I'd just come up and pay my respects. Let you know that we appreciate your hospitality, and yeah, we're with the big lady over there, Scrapper.
So she looks at you and she looks you up and down, and it's unclear what her motive is in terms of looking you up and down. And she's like, she looks at you and she's got, I think this is probably a very, very rare thing, if a thing at all, in the medieval period. But as she flashes you a little smile, and you can see a little gold tooth just at the back there.
Wow.
Yeah. And she looks you up and down, and she looks over at Jenny, and then she looks back at you, and she's like, "Am I going to have trouble with you, Sunshine?"
Not unless you ask for it nicely.
So
I'm only when he's not, he's like, he's having a laugh here.
Yeah. So yeah. She laughs despite herself.
Yeah.
And she's like, and then she kind of looks around. She looks around, and she kind of like, you can hear the other barmaids kind of like giggling and stuff. And she's like, "Better men than you have tried, and you won't find any of them around here anymore."
Right. No, well, truth be told, no, you won't. We're here for a few drinks, have a good time, maybe get to know the local clientele, maybe just, well, don't know how to say this really, but kind of an holiday. We're holiday makers. And, you know, it's nice to come in from the forest now and then. And give her a wink.
Right. Tim is being tested on his ability to make his intentions clear here. Like, you said it, but let's see if she buys it.
Okay, cool. So physical, I don't see how I could use that. Emotional and intellectual, maybe. They're both D6 sixes. Tim's used to talking. So let's go to with intellectual first. Tim's used to talking to people when he needs the most, and so like the guy at the gate when he's bringing a body out in the cart, and like the body is hidden in the left of the cart, and you say, "You're right, good at your job." So he'll stick the pitchfork in the right of the park, of the cart, stuff like that. So he's gonna try that. Emotional, I think
this is you were trying to convince her of something, so I think emotional definitely comes in here.
Yeah, and you've given us a good steer as to the vibe of the place, so I think he gets it. I don't know that I can use my job. Maybe I can use my job. I don't know how.
So before you got to your job, you'd have to get your trade first, which is the hood. And the vibe of this place is that this is a place where like
Hoodish.
Yeah. So I think you could definitely you are used to this kind of place and these kinds of people.
Okay.
Are within your understand. These are people you get, right? You understand.
Having you go to when you don't want the guards.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think you could bring the hood in here, but I don't think you could bring assassins. Not relevant.
Okay, so we'll go with 3d6 then.
Maybe a smuggler or something. But...
551.
All right, that's enough. So she takes in what you say and she looks around and she's not looking to see if she's being overheard because it's clear that she doesn't care if she's overheard in here. This is her kingdom. Yeah. And she is among friends. And
nicer
so
than
yeah, exactly. Yeah. She's like, this forest is Sherwood's beautiful this time of year. I heard it was pretty hot around Mansfield the other week.
Yeah, it was this year. Well, it's the season for you, isn't it? So, yes, nice to leave it. Always nice to come back,
So she looks around the pub and she says, "You take those drinks on me." And
well, I mean, at the very least, let me buy you one.
So she like, what, are you flicking a coin into her? She's kind of holding.
He'll see what he's drinking and just try and buy a drink for her, even though it's more the gesture than So she's giving him like 4 drinks. He's paying for one back.
All right, got you. So you're paying for the extra. That's totally fine. Okay, yeah, so she's like, so as the drinks are served up, she's like, you might find it a bit more accommodating round the back in the snug. How about you and your friends go round there and I'll send my boys over and we can see what we can do about your holiday plans.
That'd be nice. Any of your boys know where we might quietly get rid of a bit of steel? And he's referring to the sword and the chainmail. If you do, send him over our way.
Also, she said, if you want something getting in or getting out, it's my boys you want to talk to.
Yeah, but he's inferring that if they can put him in touch with somewhere, he can sell the castle forged sword or armor.
Well, so these above the table, the brothers are smugglers. So these are the right. They are the right people to be talking to.
Okay, cool, grand. Yeah, so he'll sort of unfurl that a little bit, and he'll bring the drinks back, and he'll make sure that it's a large cider for scrapper over there, and he'll sit down. And I think what he will do is if Kez is sitting beside her, he'll deliberately leave the drink on the other side of the table, so Kez has to go and get it, so he can sit in beside Scrapper.
Beside Jenny.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna say that you've moved round into the snug, right? So this is the private room at the back of the pub, right?
Yeah.
It's one of a few private rooms. And as you're sat in there, Jenny says what she's talking to Tim, and she's like, that's Meggie. She runs the place. She's the landlady.
Meggie Pitchell.
Meggie Pitchell, yeah. Her actual last name is Witcher, but Maggie Pitchell will go.
I thought
for.
maybe Pitcher.
That's amazing.
I love that so much.
The old trade names.
Now I will add that both her first and last name were randomly generated off of my table of things, but it just happened to come in that way. And again, if you want a little bit of trivia, Gallows Corner design trivia, so I created this like name generator. So I went through. There's a database called the People of 1381, and it's got every single court record and court case from the Peasants' Revolt in it, and it's amazing and it's fully searchable. I knew that I was going to have to come up with loads of NPC names because in the back of Gallows Corner we've got a section called the English, which is a like NPC, like it's for use for NPC generators. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to make like 150 different names. So rather than just trying to come up with them each time, I'll make myself a generator. So I spent 2 working days getting every male first name and every female first name out of there, and then 750 surnames so that I could just randomly generate names. The first one that I generated was Watt Taylor, randomly generated. Now, the person who was one of the leaders of the Peasants' Revolt, for those historians among you, was Watt Tyler.
Okay.
The name I generated was Watt Taylor. Which I felt like I was being blessed by the Peasants' Revolt there.
Yeah.
We approved this generator.
Yeah, 100%.
Excellent.
Anyway, so she says that, Meggie, she runs the place. Her sons, it's Abel and Anthony. Those are the 2 you met at the door. They are, if you need anything getting in or out of that castle or in and out of this city, they are the ones that will help you do it.
And he'll kind of he's proud of the fact that he got on with her now, and he'll say, me and her hit it right off. So I think we're in good hands here, and we're in the snug and all the rest of it. Jenny, what's your favorite color? This is the extent of his
game.
His game.
So she kind of looks around and she looks over at Kez, and she's like, in a way that like Kez knows that the look that's being passed is like, is this guy for real?
He is.
But like she's gonna kind of play along because she's still ingratiating herself into the group. She's like, well, Tim, I've always liked red. What about you?
Yeah, well, I like black because
the stains.
Sure, the stains.
Well, I do most of my work at night. So he says, I do most of my work at night. So yeah.
My real name is Raven Shadow Peak. This one. I'm just imagining the 2 hairs being like swept across his eye like an emo fridge.
Yeah, I think one of them might be out of place because he's kind of rubbing his head real stressed. And he says, how long have you been fighting for then, Jenny?
So just as she's about to answer, the door to the snug opens, and Abel and Anthony walk in, and Jenny lets off an audible sigh of relief as everyone's attention is drawn.
Those 2 blokes have just done you a favor, mate.
Kez is going to look at Jenny with just like the biggest like sorry in their eyes, and then they're going to look at Tim.
Okay, so he's not a creep. He's just
he's
just awkward as fuck.
I'm not reading him as a creep.
Okay,
no.
He's just really bad at talking to people.
You are Riz deficient.
Gareth is determined to buy Tim his next drink.
I think, I think this is the first time Tim is like. So he's getting kind of Rhea Ripley vibes from this fighter, and I think it's kind of awakened something in him, and he's like, the first time I've actually I've fallen for somebody, so like he's quietly quietly sad.
Kez will be the best wing person ever.
I feel like you
Tim.
won't. But okay.
No. Your name is Kez.
No, yeah.
Great wing person.
I got enough game for the both of us. I can give you some.
It's the spirit of community is sharing,
I feel like we do like 4 more of these people.
Friends, lend me your Riz.
Did they overthrow Nottingham, or did fucking Tim and Jenny get together? Anyway, sorry.
So as the brothers walk in, and they pull up some seats and they put their drinks down and they look around you all. And they kind of have a little kind of hello, how you doing with Jenny and stuff like that. And then the tall one kind of like leans back against the door. So he makes sure no one can open. He's like putting his full weight against the door to make sure no one can open it from the outside and come in. And the shorter brother, who is clearly a little bit older, this is Abel, leans in across the table, not quite across the table, but kind of leans his elbows on the table. And he's like, our mum said you might have need to get into up into the castle or to get something out of it. Would that be the case?
About 50 things.
50 things.
I mean, they can
Those
probably
things can move of their
themselves.
own accord as long as they've not been hobbled.
Pete, you want to get people out of there?
Says, well, yeah.
Yeah.
We'd also
Alive.
And
like
with those, so the older brother kind of looks, you hear him sighing. He's not saying very much, the older brother. You hear him sighing, and the younger one like looks up at him and kind of looks back at you. And he's like, those people wouldn't happen to have refused to pay their taxes, would they?
Small world if you make that connection that quickly, isn't it?
Well, I don't think we're all law-abiding citizens here.
law-abiding citizens. And Tim will
audibly sighs again.
Yeah, sorry. Tim will also say, we might be looking to shift a little bit of merchandise.
Well, later, maybe, yeah.
So if you can help us get that out of the city, as well as maybe those folks up in the castle, we'd be, I think we might be considered in your debt.
So Abel kind of sits back in his chair and he looks around and he's sizing each one of you up. And he's like, he's sitting and thinking to himself and he's really contemplating what he's about to say next. And he's like, well, he kind of leans back in a little bit and he's like, well, it just so happens that if you want to get something in or out of that castle, not only have you come to the right people, but you've come to the right place as well.
Right.
And Jenny, you hear Jenny kind of whispers under her breath, and Kez and Tim are probably the only ones that can hear this. And she kind of like, she's like, the Cappans, she's kind of talking to herself, but she's kind of gotten a little bit carried away and she said it out loud, but only you guys can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Witcher brothers are like, they've decided that you can be probably be trusted, but that you have to do something for them in return.
Oh. So what is it?
Mm-hmm. So they lean in and they're like, it just so happens that we might be able to find you, that we might actually know of a way for you not only to get into that castle, but to get those poor bastards back out of it as well.
Ooh, and what would that cost us?
So the older brother, the taller brother, Anthony finally speaks and he's like, it ain't going to cost you anything because it'd be wrong of us to charge you to save some, to free those people. That'd be wrong. And Mum doesn't like it when we do things wrong.
Okay.
But you could help us out with a little problem while we get things sorted down our end.
What's that problem?
Seems fair.
What's your problem, Anthony?
There's a merchant up on the hill.
I don't like him already.
Neither do we. There's a merchant up on the hill who, let's say, doesn't like to get his hands dirty and occasionally comes to us to carry out some work for him. And it turns out he hasn't paid his bill recently.
Ooh.
And we could do with someone either leaning on him to get him to pay up or breaking into his house and finding out, taking back what we got for him. And it just so happens that we could use some people who no one round here knows.
Right, you say
that, my friends, looks just like you.
Right. So what I'm thinking is, did you get him something that he has that you might want back, or did you get rid of something for him?
No, we got something for him. He's got it in his house.
Right.
I
think we can do that.
We can do that.
So do you want what you got for him as recompense, or do you want money that he owed you, or both?
We want paying is what we want. We've already done the fucking work. I don't want to have to take the thing back out. That stuff's that's. He was just
it's no good to you. It's not valuable to you.
He was just about to say stolen goods, and he's like, that was
acquired
found goods.
Right. Well, can you give us
Clement
a value?
knows all about found goods.
Can you give us a value? When we go in, we're going to have to obviously ask for X amount of money, and where's the fucking money? But we don't know how much you want. How much should we be pressing him for?
let me put it so like Abel leans back in. He said, let me put it this way. It should be worth more to him than one of his legs.
Right.
Oh.
So we'll just pop in and go, where's the fucking money? And then he'll know what we're talking about.
Well, probably, yeah. Unless he owes more money around town, which knowing him, he probably
Right,
does. But
right.
yeah, he'll know that you've come from us.
Right.
If we were threatening a leg, what a retainer Joy would have made.
Oh, well, fairness, I got a hammer. I can take another knee.
Yeah. Well, I said now maybe it's not a good idea to bring Jenny since we don't want to be recognised and she might be a known quantity.
So this could be Leggy Mitchell.
But as far as threatening goes, I mean, Jenny's your woman, with her fierce reputation skill.
Oh, but we can't use Jenny. Jenny is known around these parts. We are not.
Traceable.
So they, with you agreed, they're like, well, we better show you what you're what's waiting for you when you come back. And they stand you up and they're like, follow us.
Okay.
And they walk you through the pub and you walk down into the cellar. Rep, give me a D10 roll, please.
2.
So out in the as you walk out of the snug, you look across to the right, and there's like tankards and tankards of ale lined up on two sides of this long trestle table. And you've got these two blokes just hammering the back, and everyone's hammering on the table and putting money down. It's like a drinking competition going on in the pub. A band has started up, like some musicians have arrived and started a bit of a session, and they're singing all these seditious songs about the sheriff that have lots of sibilants in them because, if you're singing seditious songs about a sheriff, they better be sibilant, right? Yep. But yeah, they walk you through and they... What was that?
Ben's frozen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, am I back, or who is it?
No, it's Ben is frozen.
Oh, Ben's frozen.
You're fine.
But he's back.
All right. So you see out in the main pub, which is on your right, you see this drinking competition going on. These musicians have arrived and they turn you left and they walk you through the brewery. And as they walk through, there's the woman in there who's tending to these barrels and stills and stuff. And Jenny gives her a nod and says, "Hey, Emma, it's good to see you again." And Emma's like, "Jenny, I haven't seen you in ages, my love. You come in here for a drink?" And Abel kind of waves her off and he's like, "Not now, Emma. You can catch up in a bit."
Is there a vibe there?
Yeah,
is there a vibe?
wanted to suss the vibes
between who?
Emma and
Jenny and Emma.
They know each other.
But if we're looking for a flirtatious vibe.
Yeah. I mean, pick up the tone in they know each other.
Oh
God.
Can I roll an emotional?
No, move on. Move on.
Okay. Sorry. Yes, you're right.
And then, so Abel and Anthony take you behind the barrels.
Sorry. Yeah.
And behind the barrels, you walk into this what can only be described. It's a cellar, right? And they take you down some stairs. And there is more than just ale barrels down here. There's stuff that's under cloaks and under it's under sheets and stuff like that. And Abel and Anthony, Abel's leading the way, and Anthony kind of looks around at you and says, "If you know what's good for you, you didn't see any of this, all right? None of this is here." And he kind of laughs at you and walks through. And it's cool and dark down here.
Clement is valuing everything.
Everything as he goes. Yeah. And as you're walking through, it's cool and clear, and it's nice down here. It's been a hot summer's day, and it's nice and temperate and cool down here. And as you're walking through, you see this really, really old oak door. When it's studded with black iron, this really, really old oak door at the end. And as you approach it, Abel takes this old iron key out of his belt, and he unlocks the door and he opens it up, and this whoosh of air comes, cold air, cold air comes out of it. It's pitch black behind that door, but this whoosh of air comes out. And if you listen really, really, really intently, you can hear the occasional clank of a chain. And you can't hear the pub anymore. You can't, it's because you've gone down the level, you can't hear the pub anymore. And as you stand there, you can just faintly hear, in between the sound of like this chain clanking, you can hear a woman's voice singing. You can't, it's too far, like it's too quiet to make out the song, but you can hear this woman singing. And Abel turns around at you and he's like, this is our family secret in here. These are the caverns, and they'll take you right up under that castle and right inside that jail.
Who's that singing then?
And we're going to end the session right there.
God.
The scene cuts to black.
Oh,
Faint singing over the credits.
Yeah, faint singing over the credits.
How many days?
Post-scene credit shows Jenny being accosted by Tim and Kez on both sides.
No, there'll be no accosting.
I am being the best wing person for Tim. Dude needs all the help he can get, apparently.
He does not feel like he's getting any help. So I just backed it on our break. How many more days have you got left, George?
So it says 6 days, but actually it's 7, because like weirdly Kickstarter, once you hit 1 day left, it then goes into 24 hours left. So we finish at 8 p.m. next Tuesday. So it would have been 2 hours ago next Tuesday.
And if people want to buy this and run it themselves, how quick and easy is it for them to read through and pick it up the system? Or is it a book they have to read cover to cover? Or
absolutely not. It is crazy quick to pick up. So literally, like for character building, you guys know how quick character building is.
Yeah.
It's all of 2 minutes, right? Especially if you don't choose your trade and job based on your own vibes and you roll for them, the whole thing's done in 2 minutes. If you want to choose based on vibe, and it is based on vibe because there's no meta, right? Every character in Gallows Corner is mechanically identical. No one has access to one part of the rules that no one else does. So it's really easy to set up, really easy to get set up with the characters. Our pre-written adventures, this is one of our 3 pre-written adventures. There is an introductory adventure called A Spark Takes Hold, which is set in my home county of Essex. It's where I was born and grew up. I haven't lived there for a long time, but it's where I was born and grew up. Rep has played that adventure, or the first act of it.
Fun.
It's really, really good fun, and it introduces the game to both narrators and players. So each act introduces you to a new set of mechanics. So Act 1 introduces you to tests and skills and dice rolls and stuff like that. Act 2 introduces you to like the point crawl system and the verb system, and then Act 3 is the showdown. And it's designed to be picked up like that. And in terms of like the core system, what you need to read as a narrator, you need to understand how tests work. You can pick that up from the character sheet. And then really all you are doing is like the core rules section is less than 20 pages, but most of that is example text.
So what we're doing is history specific, but I feel like this could be dropped into any sort of Forgotten Realms, like classic D&D.
You could put it anywhere.
You can put it anywhere. It doesn't have to be country specific or history specific.
Even if you didn't want to do history specific, I mean, there's, Star Wars being the famous example, but there's a million. And even if you don't, you wouldn't have to even add any sort of, I think in the, a far flung future or a sci-fi, rebellion, anything.
Because we don't have
the verbs for planet.
Exactly, because we don't have specific. You could do like the point crawl as a planet, or as a series of planets, right? Any way you want to do it, it's really, really simple. One of the things I'm really proud of with Gallows Corner is the system is robust enough that you can put it into any setting, and it's just gonna work.
It works
as long as you are playing working people. So, right, when you think about Star Wars, right, think about Andor rather than like the original Star Wars trilogy and stuff. You are playing normal people going up. Oh, like the Mandalorian would be good. It'd be good for the Mandalorian. And stuff like
or if instead of
that kind of side
Luke
of things.
Skywalker, you were playing Uncle Lars and Aunt Beru.
Exactly.
Moisture farmers. You're playing the moisture farmers, not the chosen one.
It turned out they didn't have
chosen one's a
moist ending, but
Spoilers.
Quite crispy.
Spoilers this far away.
77, sir. But cool. So what we 6-7 days ago, We might get you back on to run another one. Like,
I mean,
If
I would be
you're
more
up
than
for it.
happy to
7
come
days, not
back.
no 7
more
days.
than-
We'll just be-
no,
Yeah,
Maybe in a week or two.
later on in
Yeah.
March, we'll get on and run another one.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be
we need to essentially we're going to be pulling a heist. Let's call a spade a spade. This
I
was
kind
going
of
to
feel
be
like
a bit of a
that's what we're
heist.
gonna
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
So here's the
Just like
thing,
a
right? So like,
human
I just
trafficking heist. People.
talking about the way this works, though, right? Like when we're talking about the verbs being associated with each location, the verb I associated with the pub was break in, right? And when we started this,
Yeah, I
I
saw
was like,
that,
well,
yeah.
obviously you're breaking into the castle. Obviously you're breaking into the castle.
Yeah.
However, in payment for that, you're also potentially breaking into this merchant's house as well, right?
Yeah.
So the way this verb system works is you're able, if you have a verb in mind when you go to a place as the narrator, you then let the players, you set it in one direction, and then the whole thing is emergent storytelling.
Yeah.
Break
That
in,
even
can
in
be
a
used in
vague
so many
sense.
different ways. Exactly.
You kind of have to break into the pub.
Yeah.
You have to get your way in, you know,
Mhm.
and you know, well, one way we do that, and I did a very like a risky thing to try and get into the pub. You know, I could have had me hand off.
Absolutely. That sword could have been stolen and you could have gotten all of us got.
Yeah.
Just standing over here with dude like flashing steel, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Doing the equivalent of like pulling up your like shirt so you got like a piece in
Yeah,
your waist.
then you got a piece in the waist. It's like, I'm packing heat. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that heat and report you.
But
Next,
guys, I really
from
hope
the gallows.
I really hope you enjoyed this second session. I hope you enjoyed it as
It
much
was
as the
great.
first.
Oh,
I know it was
did.
like we didn't necessarily get as much done this time, but this
Yeah, that's
second
our
act,
fault,
the
of
idea
course.
is, but the idea is this second act is supposed to open things up, right? So
Okay.
whereas the first
Absolutely.
act is designed to get you from point A to point B, and we don't know what's going to happen at point B.
We could have gone anywhere
anywhere,
tonight.
yeah,
We could have
Yeah,
gone straight
exactly.
to the castle. We just decided.
yeah.
To Fooster about
Yeah.
Special delivery.
helped him find love.
Oh look, we can do we can do that again. Look, I feel like he's gonna quietly just simp for her for a while.
As is the way for Rhea Ripley.
Yes, indeed, absolutely.
Hero, take
just
your
in the
mistress there.
background.
yes.
Well, look, George.
George,
yeah,
thanks
I
so
mean,
much. Yeah, cheers.
Best,
Thank you
best
so
of luck
much.
with the final week.
My pleasure, guys.
Thank you
you
so much.
And
Push as much as
do
you
keep
can,
us
folks.
tuned in about the new thing you're working on.
Oh, we've got so many things that we're working on. I was saying to Rep at the end of our 5-minute break that we're planned out to 2030 at the moment.
Jeez.
Well, kind of, yeah. Well, look, whatever you have next up, give us a shout.
Yeah.
we might. I'm very looking forward to the
If we-
the next
the
job,
If we
prehistoric
have
one.
our way, we'll be playing Gallows Corners.
Ooh, the
Gallows Corner on
prehistoric
stream
game.
until
The prehistoric
2030.
one sounds great.
The one
That's not,
before
been,
Absolutely.
that's not
Also-
been announced yet, guys. That's not been officially announced.
Okay.
Yet.
Shh.
So the what
Whoops.
City Vespers.
Sorry.
The next one that was going to
Yes.
be.
We'll work it out. It's fine. We're announcing
Alright.
it soon. So.
We can cut that bit out. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Right. Thanks very much. See you soon.
Folks, see you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
chat.